Alright, gamers, listen up. We're gonna look at the Marvel Cinematic Universe, okay? What's up, gamers? We are looking at the Marvel Cinematic, the TV universe, pretty much everything tonight, and we are going to make a tier list here of my favorite movies and TV shows in the Marvel Universe. I actually have two different tier lists, because this one is mostly MCU with a few other things peppered in, and then this one is literally like, it's got a lot of the MCU, but then it has a lot of the stuff that was pre-MCU, so things get a little muddled, a little confusing, but I figure it's better to do both rather than just one. Let's see. I don't know if I want to start with Ant-Man and the Wasp. That's a little crazy. Let's see. Yeah, let's find like... Let's see. What was... Technically, like, the first film, right, was like... Ed Norton's Hulk. Which, I don't know. I'd either put it in like a B or a C here. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Okay, and then after that was probably like Thor, right? Or pretty quick after that. Let's see. I gotta figure out how they have these. I kind of have them in order. Thor is S tier. Thor is incredible. What's up? What is up, V4? We are starting the tier list here. We got the Incredible Hulk with Ed Norton. We got Thor up there. What's up? What's up, Tia Reaper? How you doing, man? You're gonna be rioting. You might be rioting in the chat here. Let's see. Eternals? Did Dude, I still haven't finished Eternals. I fell asleep. I was so bored. Let's get that out of the way. Morbius is F tier. Absolute worst of the MCU. Let's see. I haven't seen Werewolf by Night yet, but I actually want to see that. Like, I want to watch Eternals. I don't care what anyone says about it. Like, I still want to watch it just so I know what I feel about it. But I literally just fell asleep, and then, like, I was like, oh, I got to pull that up again and watch it. And then I just never did. So, like, it was nothing personal. I was just like, it was that boring. You know what I mean? But that's kind of where I stand on that one. What else we got here? Yeah, see, that's why I was watching it on Disney Plus because I had no urge to go see it in theaters. I don't know, just a weird film that has nothing to do with the overall MCU, I feel, with characters that are very niche, not very well established, and they thought they could just bring in A-list actors and you know, pull off this movie, and it just didn't work. Let's see, where's Guardians 1? Okay, because Guardians of the Galaxy 1 was like, it might be S tier, but I'm going to put it in A for now. The first Doctor Strange is, yeah, the first Doctor Strange is S tier. One of my favorite MCU movies, but like, for the longest time, Thor, I went and saw this movie in theaters like 3 times, which, maybe more, but Thor was literally my favorite. I thought it was a knockout of the park. Like, I didn't even like Thor before I saw the movie. I had always just, you know, I know the Norse mythology. I know the Thor that was like in Dexter's Lab cartoon. And it just never appealed to me. So this made Thor cool. It was fun watching his scenes. The way he sort of tries to interact with like Earth. And it's just kind of weird, like he throws the coffee cup and breaks it, and then he goes, another, because, you know, that's what they do. You know, that's part of his culture, and it clashes with, like, modern Americana, so very interesting. Let's see, what else can we get here? Couple. Let's see, I have not seen Venom Let There Be Carnage, but I do want to see it. I'm going to have to check that out on streaming, for sure. I like Jane Foster. I just don't like Mighty Thor in the MCU. I think they did a really poor job with that. So I didn't enjoy that in my opinion. But I'll get deeper in on that shortly. Let's see. Yeah, I want to see Let There Be Carnage. How do I feel about the first Venom movie though? Like, definitely less than Incredible Hulk, but more than Morbius. Let's put it right there for now. Cause like, it was all right, but I didn't walk away mind blown. I don't see why we need to make like just villain movies. Like, why is Venom a thing? Why is Morbius a thing? Just put him up against Spider-Man. That's all we want, you know? If you want to build background, you know, you can do that. But yeah, they're pretty much doing this with all their villains. They try to twist them into anti-heroes or try to make them likable. Which, you know, sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's not. Okay, how do I feel about the first Captain America? It's up there. I put it in A tier. It's not my favorite, shockingly. I love Captain America, but I just... Something about the first Avenger just didn't... I need to watch it again, but I have Cap films that I enjoy more. And so I'm going to say Captain America the Winter Soldier is the best MCU movie so far. It's just a little bit better than Thor. I don't know why I love the Winter Soldier. Okay, I know why I love the Winter Soldier. Okay, it's like, it's the Manchurian Candidate meets spy games. It's a political thriller, action, spy film. It's everything it needs to be. And yeah, it definitely pulls from the first movie and plays with the Bucky as an anti-hero thing, and you're like, come on, Bucky, wake up. Like, the whole movie, you're like, come on, Bucky, come to your senses. We know. It has some of the best fight scenes I've ever seen in the MCU. It's also got some of Cap's best fight scenes. It's just very down to earth too, and I literally wanted more, and that's pretty rare about most superhero movies. You usually don't go out of the theater saying like, oh, I want more of this exact thing. Like, give me more of this. Like, usually you're like, oh, I can't wait for the sequel, but like, I'm like, stay on this vein and keep doing Cap movies. Like, I want to see how he interacts with the modern day, a man out of time. It's one of the most entertaining and intriguing things, right? So there's that. But there's also the whole spy thing. Can we trust S.H.I.E.L.D.? Can we trust America? War has changed. Everything has changed. You know, there's no clear-cut good and bad. It's not America versus Hitler anymore. It's like America versus like sleeper agents and Cold Wars, and you don't know who the bad guys are, and there's terrorism, and then there's homegrown terrorism. So I mean, there's a whole lot of things happening all at once that makes Captain America a more complicated and complex job, and I think that movie highlights a lot of that. So yeah, one of the best of the MCU. What else we got here? This is gonna be tricky, guys. It's gonna be a difficult one. Let's see. Okay, I haven't seen I Am Groot, and I kind of don't care to. I have not seen Secret Invasion, but I definitely want to see it more than anything else. Nick Fury is a very interesting character. Samuel L. Jackson does really well. I really liked Moon Knight. I don't know where I want to put it, but let's put it right there for right now. Moon Knight, let's see. Egyptian gods, treasure hunting, essentially. It's everything I love. Like, I love National Treasure movies. I love Indiana Jones. I love the Uncharted video games. I love Tomb Raider. Everything about Moon Knight in that sense is intriguing to me. It's also a character that I'll admit he might be one of the least, how do I say this? One of the characters that I know the least about in the MCU. Like, maybe the Eternals I might know less about than Moon Knight. But, like, literally all I know about Moon Knight is, like, Egyptian gods, multiple personalities. Like, that's all I knew going in, pretty much. Like, I know some of the memes around Moon Knight, but, like, not a whole lot, honestly, just to be completely transparent. Gamers, if you are enjoying this, definitely like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. Okay. Yeah. I think we definitely need to have a conversation. We need to loop back around when I've watched Eternals and some of these others. Oh, you're talking about Elemental. Yeah, I've heard about that one too. Yeah, and apparently I Am Groot is coming back for season 2. So yeah, I'm just going to put both. I guess there's 2 of them here. I can't tell which one's season 2. But yeah, I'll put them there. No one's really seen the Kraven the Hunter movie. And I just feel like it's unnecessary. That's literally the movie I'm like the least desire to see. This is the Guardians Christmas special, I think. I would actually like to see that more than most things on my haven't seen yet list here. Let's see. All right, it's we're getting further along here. It's going quicker than I thought here. Yeah, that's all right. The writer strike, actors, they gotta get their money. Also, Marvel VFX department is striking as well. So I mean, they deserve their fair pay. Let's see. The first Ant-Man is really good. Ant-Man the Wasp, I'd put it in like C or D tier maybe. Let's see. I just saw Quantumania. Literally that movie. Ooh, it's a little rough. Quantumania is like filmed in front of a green screen the whole time. But I think I kind of lost where it was. I don't know. I thought I was looking at it a second ago. These are really tiny on my screen, by the way. I could probably make it a little bigger or something. See if we don't mess up our screen here. Yeah, like Quantumania, like I didn't hate it, but I was, I started checking my watch, which is usually not a good sign. Okay, there's Quantumania. I would say it's a little better than Ant-Man the Wasp. I just think it's a little more entertaining. It has more of the core cast, right? Like, it actually has Hank Pym. But I feel like the trailers gave away too much. Like, I wish they just didn't tell us about Kang and going in. Like, I know Quantumania alludes to the fact that they're going to get lost in the quantum realm, but that would have been a really cool, like, surprise that they could have hit us with. All right, first Iron Man movie. First Iron Man, really good. It's got to be S tier. I know we can't have too many movies in the S tier, otherwise it devalues itself a little bit. Let's see, Iron Man 2. I don't think Iron Man 2 is as bad as people think. So let's put it in A tier. So Iron Man 2 has some really dope fight scenes. They definitely bring in Black Widow for a larger role. It definitely goes in with a lot more of Iron Man's villains. Inhumans, I don't think it's on this one. I think it's on this one. So I might do this one next. Because it looks like we're going through the first one very quickly. So it wouldn't let me edit this unless I was going to make one from scratch. So very weird. But yeah, I don't think Inhumans is here. These are way too tiny for me to read, but I don't think it's in here. Okay, Iron Man 3 is... Oh, it's definitely better than 2. It's better than... Might be better than Captain America, First Avenger, maybe. So somewhere here in A tier, we got Iron Man 3. Yeah. Okay, Multiverse of Madness, I was so excited for. It should have been better. I'll put above Quantumania. So I think the biggest problem with that is that Sam Raimi and the writers did not get a script for WandaVision. They didn't watch WandaVision, so therefore Wanda did not have her story or any of her interesting stuff. Yeah, so like all of her motivations were very inconsistent with her previous entries. So WandaVision came in, was this incredible grand slam piece of entertainment here. The first big Disney Plus show to really kick it off for Marvel and show that they could dominate in the TV space as well. That one was solid. So I might leave it in B tier. We might shuffle it around. It'll definitely help once we get more things in here. You might kind of, I might kind of be able to like figure out what's what. Okay, I would put Thor: The Dark World. I don't think Thor: The Dark World is as bad as people say. Any movie that had Jane Foster and Thor was really good, except for when Mighty Thor came in, because I think they sort of had chemistry. There was something interesting about, obviously, innately, there's this interest in the man out of time, the man out of his zone, and she's like the scientist searching for him, pining for him, trying to find him. It's super romantic, right? And then something ends up happening to her, and it ends up being one of the stones, one of the Infinity Stones. Yeah, man, they just I don't think they did her justice in Multiverse of Madness. And as I said, Doctor Strange, one of my favorite MCU movies, and they botched the sequel, and I love Sam Raimi. I think he does a good job. Okay, let's get a more complicated one. Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. This is like what, 2002? I'm gonna put that. Because this is really a big hit, right? I mean, this was Willem Dafoe as Norman. You can't do this to me. Do you know how much I've sacrificed? Norman Osborn. Expertly played. It has one of the best ending Act 3 final fight scenes in a superhero movie. It actually, like, blood, battle damage. It's intriguing. It puts the moral choice on Spider-Man. Will you save people or will you go for Mary Jane? And he tries to save both, and it turns out like New York comes in to help him. Like, that is one of the best Spider-Man movies, period. The rest just do not stand up. Okay, but this is where it gets difficult because Spider-Man 2 is really good. It introduces one of my favorite Spider-Man villains, Doc Ock. Spidey is having trouble juggling his relationship and his schoolwork, being a superhero. It's a lot. I'm having trouble dragging it all the way to the top. I would say Boy, I never thought about. I know how to rank it within the Spider-Man trilogy. I would put it like right here, but like I really love Doctor Strange, so I don't know. Maybe we'll leave it there for now. Yeah, Spider-Man 2 is dope. Now 3 is not as good, but going back and watching it, it's not as bad. Like, I think the part that upset me the most about Spider-Man 3 was not. I loved Venom. I loved the black suit. I loved the moral quandary of more power, but also turns him into kind of a hateful, overpowered, like roided out junkie who just, behaves counter to what Peter Parker is. And so it's a hard watch in that sense. And I think the Sandman story is very empathetic. It might have been too many villains in one movie, and also the fact that everyone, like Harry ends up being a villain too, and then he ends up crying at the end of the movie. That's why I make fun of the movie. Is like everyone cries at the end. Like Peter cries, Harry cries. I think Venom might be the only one that doesn't cry. Like Eddie Brock, I don't think he cries. I think he's dead. And then let's see. Sandman cries, right? So, but Eddie Brock, I think the most savage scene is when he prays to God in the church. He says, "Please God, will you kill Peter Parker?" Like that kind of hate is so petty and so savage, and it's so villain. I have no problem with Topher Grace. He was a great Eddie Brock. Like, he was a good rival to Peter Parker. And I think Venom is intriguing, the Venom suit, all of that. It was definitely a good movie of its time. I would put it... I'd put it, like, right there. Put it in, like, A tier. Like, kind of low, but not too high. Not too high. Ooh, now it's getting difficult. Okay, how do I feel about Guardians 2? Guardians 2 takes place in one location, which I felt was really weak. Because what is cool about Guardians of the Galaxy, it's in the name, right? The entire galaxy, traveling, space travel, everywhere. You never know what's going to happen. But this movie ends up being in one location, it's all about ego, it's all about Peter, and it definitely has a good father-son story in that. It is a killer soundtrack. It's definitely not as good as part 1. I would put it like B tier, like somewhere there. I don't know if it's better than Thor Dark World. What's up, Marvel? No, maybe I'll leave it there for now. Okay, but let's see. Avengers. That's a tough one. 2012 Avengers. The first time we get all the Avengers on screen. We get Iron Man, we get Captain America, we get Thor, we get Black Widow, we get Hulk, we get Hawkeye, Nick Fury, Phil Coulson, right? The whole gang. Battling Loki. Tom Hiddleston, arguably at his best. That's got to be high up there. Yeah. It's got to be high up there. Hang on, let's see here. Like I said, I have a lot of movies that I like more than Captain America First Avenger. I like Iron Man 3 quite a bit. This is right there. So, behind Guardians, but above Iron Man 3. Something like that. Ooh, let's see. Age of Ultron? Okay. So, here's the thing about Age of Ultron. It gets a lot of hate, but it actually sets up most of what pays off in Infinity War and Endgame and stuff like that. And even WandaVision. it sets up payoffs that are so late game that people devalue it and they forget about it. But it actually had some dope fight scenes. I hate that they wasted Ultron. Like they took him out in one movie. Like this could have been a two-parter. I put above like Thor Dark World. Like right there, like B tier. Yeah, cuz I like Iron Man 2 more. It's kind of weird, but here we are. Let me grab something else. Let's grab something at random here. Thor Love and Thunder, I think, in my opinion, oh man, I guess I liked it better than Morbius, but yeah, Thor Love and Thunder I did not like. They emasculated Thor by making Jane Foster more masculine than him. He was constantly questioning himself, talking to his hammer that now belongs to Jane Foster. I think Marvel has a bad habit of, instead of just giving their female characters strong writing, making them, go up against their weaknesses and grow stronger through experience, dedication, hard work, learning from their lessons, like failing and then learning from that failure and becoming better like every superhero does. They sort of just say, oh, she's automatically better than Thor. She's automatically more powerful than Thor. And they do this with She-Hulk as well. And I think that was a negative. I love Mighty Thor. I love the story, but I don't think the MCU did her justice. So I'm gonna throw it in the F tier. And I don't like Ragnarok either. I did not like when Thor shifted from sort of a dark fantasy. Well, not even dark, because the first Thor wasn't really all that dark. The second part, a little darker, which I could see how people probably didn't enjoy that. But it didn't need to be nothing but jokes, and I like some of the musical choices, but I just feel like the story was all over the place, and it also didn't feel connected. I think Thor has had the roughest time, where each movie is a little more disconnected from his overall. It's a quadrilogy now, right? So yeah, I didn't like, and I felt like Love and Thunder took what Ragnarok did and kicked it in high gear. They went overboard with the jokes, way too much. Yeah, Shang-Chi, that's a good one. This is like a really good kung fu movie. It's a hero that I know very little about. I would put Shang-Chi probably an A tier, right below Ant-Man. Because, I really do like all these movies more. It's not that Shang-Chi is bad, because remember, it's in A tier. It says really good, but there's also really good and also older movies that were really good too. Let's see. What If? What If is actually really good. Animation is good. The voice actors that they pulled is really good. The stories are really intriguing. We're gonna get season 2. What If is... Boy, that's a tough one to rank. Maybe right there. Yeah, What If is great. It really is. Okay, it's getting trickier. How about we make it more difficult? Let's throw a wrench in the works. The Amazing Spider-Man. This is Andrew Garfield's first step up. to play Spider-Man. Was that, what year was that? Amazing. Was it like 2014? I think so. No, 2012. 2014 was part 2. Yeah, I gotta drive TF Reaper up a wall right now. Let's see. Oh my god, it slipped. No, I'm just kidding, dude. Could you imagine just worse than Morbius? Unsub, unlike, unsubscribe, the whole deal. Okay, hang on. We gotta figure out where he goes. I'm gonna put it better than Spider-Man 3. I'm gonna put it right up in A tier. Because you know what? Andrew Garfield is good at being... He's good at being kind of that shy and reserved Peter Parker. It's a little different. Like, Tobey was the very relatable, like, nerdy, you know, bullied Peter Parker. Whereas, you know, this was sort of a more modern Peter Parker. He's almost like a skater, kind of reserved. A little bit of a nerd. Just a little bit of a different feel to it. And I think he did really good. And although Tobey is my favorite, I think Andrew is probably my second favorite. But this is where it gets crazy. The Amazing Spider-Man 2. All right, let's talk about it. Because there's a lot to unpack here. I think there's too many villains. Not only is Harry Osborn in this one, you know, pretty much doing the same thing he did in the previous films. He's like, you know, the little Green Goblin Jr. But you have Electro, Jamie Foxx, which I actually like that casting. Jamie Foxx is good, and I feel like No Way Home sort of redeemed Jamie Foxx for this role. I think Jamie Foxx did good. I don't know if his VFX looked good. That was weird. And I think No Way Home did it better. What else do we have going on in Amazing Spider-Man 2? Okay, he's also graduating. He's going to college. He's dating Gwen Stacy. And there's definitely this, like, will they, won't they happening. Let's see. Jamie Foxx. This one's a difficult one. So I think what happened and why I didn't like this movie as much as the first one is bad pacing, bad editing, because I felt like the story was all over the place. It was like, you want to follow this thread line, then it jumps. And then you follow that thread line for a bit, and then it jumps. And then it doesn't really make sense. And then it doesn't feel like it all comes together in a cohesive way. And it sucks that we didn't get an Amazing Spider-Man 3, because I think maybe that could have redeemed that movie. It could have picked up the pieces, and I think it would still be really intriguing, especially with what we saw in No Way Home, that Andrew Garfield's character, you know, he quit pulling his punches. He's in grief. He's angry. He's a different Spider-Man as a result of Gwen Stacy. So yeah, I gotta put this one a little lower, guys. It's better than Venom, I'll tell you that. Yeah, I'm gonna put it right there and see. Yeah. It's just all over the place. And I wanted to like it, but while I was in the theater, I was literally cringing. Some of the character designs were awful. Like I said, the pacing and the editing is what got me the most. I think had they spent some time in the editing room... Oh yeah, I forgot. They do have Paul Giamatti as Rhino. That was interesting too. That was interesting for sure. Um, yeah, it's just a lot crammed into one movie, and it's almost like Spider-Man 3 in a way. It's the same problem. Too many villains, kind of weird pacing, a lot of things happening at once. Things got weird, and things are kind of left open-ended and not finished in a very weird and unsettling way. So I would love for Andrew Garfield to get another chance in the suit. Okay, let's see. Is this one? This is. I gotta zoom in. It's like way too. Oh, oh. Let me zoom in. Okay, that is Homecoming. I feel like Homecoming gets carried by Tony Stark's presence. I don't like Tom Holland as Spider-Man. Um, I would put it above Amazing Spider-Man 2, but definitely below some of the more movies that I could have been done better, I guess. Let's see. Far From Home is probably my least favorite of Holland's movies here. What's up, Ricardo? Welcome to stream. Far From Home is okay. It's Mysterio, which I think some of that was done pretty well, but Tom Holland's Peter Parker being super clingy against Mary Jane, him just constantly doubting himself, not knowing what to do, while also being Spider-Man, it just doesn't make sense. He should have some confidence in himself because he's literally worked with the Avengers several times. I believe the events of Endgame have taken place already, so this is like post Endgame. So he should be pretty sure of himself in some ways. But he's trying so hard not to lose the girl that he almost loses the girl. I think the plot's all over the place, and he just plays one of the most unlikable forms of Peter Parker ever. So I'm going to throw this in F tier. I really don't like it. But I don't know if I like it more than the Thor movies. Oof, that's a tough one. How bad? How low can you go? Okay, but No Way Home is just a nostalgia trip. I'll say it's better than Amazing Spider-Man 2, but it's definitely not good. I liked the nostalgia trip. It was really cool seeing all the Spider-Men on the screen together. But beyond that, there wasn't a lot of substance in that film. It had some interesting stuff. It dragged on way too long. And it leaves things a little unclear, which I think might be a good thing. Because now we sort of hear that Tom Holland and all these other characters, all these other actors might not want to come back. What's up, Junie? So yeah, we're making a tier list here, guys, and this is what we've got so far. Sort of the best of the MCU, in my opinion. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the notification bell if you haven't already. If you're enjoying the video, goes a long way. So yeah, it's getting more difficult because we're running into some great movies here. We're getting into a part where it's getting tricky. Okay, so what came after? Let's see. After WandaVision was Falcon and Winter Soldier, right? Falcon and Winter Soldier. I like the show, but where does it fall? I don't know that it's better than WandaVision. I was intrigued by the story. I wanted to know more. It's definitely based off some interesting storylines there. But yeah, I put it around the same as WandaVision. It's just, it was pretty good. We wanted to see more of the Marvel Universe on Disney Plus because they could tell long-form stories. Instead of having to do a 2.5-hour movie, they could do like a 6 to 8 episode series. I would prefer 13 at the very least. And they could tell longer form stories with these heroes, get into more moments, more emotions, more fights, more interesting stuff. Venom, to me, the reason why it's at a D is to me it feels like an unnecessary movie. I don't think it's bad, but it's not good. Morbius isn't necessary. Venom's not necessary. Kraven isn't necessary. These should be characters that are in Spider-Man movies. So yeah, I kind of just walked away from Venom just feeling like not one way or the other. So F is like horrible. D is like, you know. Yeah, I do have the OG Spider-Mans like up there pretty high. 1 and 2 in S tier. Part 3 down here. Amazing Spider-Man is in A tier as well. Amazing Spider-Man 2 is over here in the C tier, bottom of C. Spider-Man Homecoming and No Way Home, not my favorites, but, you know, they're right there. And, yeah, I did not like Far From Home. I'll say that. Getting tricky. I think Loki came after Falcon and Winter Soldier, right? Loki is pretty good. I don't know if I like it more than Falcon and Winter Soldier. I would put it right there. I like it, but I don't like it as much as everything else. I'd like to see season 2. Yeah. Boy, it's getting complicated. It's getting very tricky at this point. Okay, what about... Hang on, let's look. Let me see what year Deadpool was. That was 2016. Okay, Deadpool. So we've been waiting a long time since X-Men Origins Wolverine for Ryan Reynolds to get some justice on the whole Deadpool Wade Wilson thing. Deadpool. It's a good origin story. It's got members of the X-Men. It's got Colossus, right? Yeah, I'm gonna put this one pretty high, I would say. What's up, Ashley? It's getting crazy. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Tom Holland, so a lot of his movies fell down. Tobey Maguire's I got pretty high. Andrew Garfield I got pretty high. Yeah, I feel like the first Deadpool did not pull any punches, right? Like, I felt like that was a movie that they were like, they had to leave it all on the table because it was like, do we even know if we're going to get a second one? Like, Fox might not give us another chance. So I felt like Ryan Reynolds really put his heart and soul into that one. So let me drag it up here a little bit. Let's see. Deadpool. I think he's A tier. Or maybe top of B. Because, like, Shang-Chi I really liked. And I don't think it's better than Iron Man 2. I think Iron Man 2 is a little underrated. See, if I put it up there, then we have no room for more A tiers. Let's put it top of B for right now. I want to see if there's one more movie that slinks into A tier. If not, I think we can move Deadpool up. Okay, so after Loki, there was Hawkeye, right? Yo, coming in with the subscription. Appreciate that, Ricardo. Hopefully you're enjoying the stream here. We are taking a look at the Marvel Cinematic and TV universe. I also have an entirely separate Marvel tree over here, which includes even sort of more of a variety, but it doesn't have everything that's in this first one. Okay, Captain Marvel. Okay. I actually like Captain Marvel. I like it. But, you guys. Okay. I liked it. I think it was a good time period, right? The 90s was dope. I'm not putting it in D tier. I'm talking for a second. We gotta do a monologue, all right, before I drag it up here. All right. Let's see. What year was Captain Marvel? Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel. Okay. 2019, right? So she meets up with Nick Fury, which I think was an unlikely team up. I think Jude Law was an interesting mentor / villain. You have them sort of introducing the Skrull, which are going to be a big deal in Secret Wars. And so, I mean, they're setting up, like, the way Age of Ultron sets up Infinity War and Endgame. Captain Marvel sets up everything we're about to watch, which is, like, Secret Wars and stuff like that. So it's setting up stuff that's, like, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 years away. It's insane, the amount of prep that they're doing here. So I want to put Captain Marvel. That's a tough one. I think it has really good science fiction to it as well. I really enjoyed that. But there is a thing. There's something about Brie Larson's portrayal, and I'm not a Brie Larson hater, and I'm not one of those guys that was like, ugh, you know, but they, I think it's another movie that's guilty of the strong female character, where they just sort of say that she's the best without her having to prove herself or learn from mistakes or various things like that. It's another victim, but I think it's the most, so it's the most well executed of that archetype. So while I said Love and Thunder was the worst of that archetype, because they just didn't do it right. The comics did it right, but the movies didn't. Because we do have to push this sort of agenda, apparently. So it gets a little muddy there. So yeah, I feel like maybe that's I don't know. Because I like Thor: The Dark World. I'll say it's better, maybe better than, oh no, WandaVision's better. Okay, it's falling down a little bit. Yeah, they need better writers for their female heroes. All right, I'll tell you what. I'll put it right there. I don't know why Loki is so low on my list. It's a great show. I felt like I only needed to watch it once, you know? And it's definitely interesting. It's definitely going to open up this whole new side of the Marvel universe. Yeah, the Nissan commercials, those have been all right. And she's really abrasive. I don't know if you've seen her. She also just doesn't click with the rest of the Marvel cast. If you've seen a lot of her interviews where, you know, they're on press junkets together, like all the Avengers, and like Thor will, or not Thor, but Chris Hemsworth will like make a joke or something. Well, she'll take it like really serious. And she'll be like, no, I am the strongest Avenger, like, you know, or whatever it is. Like, or she'll be like really serious. Or the rest of the men will like self-deprecate and they'll kind of play with each other and hug each other, and she'll be the kind of person that's like, ew, don't touch me, or like, oh, why'd you say that? Like, you know, it's just, so maybe she just doesn't have a sense of humor or sarcasm, or she just doesn't pick up on that stuff, or she just seems like everything is a personal attack to her. She's so on guard of kind of watching where she is as a strong feminine character that she doesn't want to be sort of played around with because she's got something to prove, I guess. I don't know. It's very strange. Yeah, I've played Ace Combat. I got 6. I might have 7. I see you, Ricardo. Don't spam. Don't spam. We got the dubs. We got the dubs in chat. I do think they need better writers for their female heroes, because there's nothing wrong with Captain Marvel as a character. There's nothing wrong with She-Hulk as a character. There's nothing wrong with Kate Bishop or even Jane Foster as a character. We've seen them in the comics. Even I feel like Jane Foster, even in Marvel's Avengers, the video game, was done better than Love and Thunder. So, okay, Miss Marvel. How about that? Miss Marvel was pretty good. Not as good as Loki. I feel like Ed Norton's Hulk might be a little better. I feel like that's where it falls. Marvel's Avengers did Miss Marvel better, the character. They made her the glue that holds the Avengers together. She ends up reuniting the Avengers. She is this key character. It's a coming-of-age story. She's just getting her powers. She ends up being an Inhuman. Whereas in the MCU, she's a mutant now, I think. She's going to be like one of the X-Men. And rather than have the elastic arms and all that stuff, she's going to have constructs like Green Lantern does. And it's tying in with like Monica Rambeau's light powers, and I don't know, that new Captain Marvel is going to be very strange, and I want to see it, but I also don't know how I feel about it. Yeah, I had AC6, and I did get the flight sticks for Xbox 360. It was incredible. Yep. Yeah, and I might have 7 on Steam, I think. Ace Combat 7. Oh, it's getting tricky now, isn't it? Okay, She-Hulk. She-Hulk, let's see. I like it better than Amazing Spider-Man 2. But once again, I think it's poor execution for a female hero. I do think that the actual She-Hulk scenes are really good, but I think they were pushing the feminist agenda so hard that it didn't connect. And the scenes with Hulk where she literally just got her powers and she's already better than Bruce Banner, who has been Hulk for I don't know how long, like over 10 years, 12 years, something like that, at the very least, if we're going by movies. Breaking the fourth wall was good. Daredevil showing up was awesome. The ending was kind of lackluster. I didn't really enjoy that. I think it's getting a season 2, but I don't know. I hope it improves. Okay, I wish it the best. How about that? It's once again the strong female character, poor writing angle, where it's like She-Hulk has always been a strong female character and that good archetype, and a character that often will beat up men that are misogynistic and stuff like that. Like she's definitely a fight the power, type thing. But like it wasn't like preaching to you. It was just like that's just what she did. And it didn't feel like the comic or whatever it would be was belittling you. I feel like the show is like, you're gonna get canceled if you don't agree with everything I do in this show. Like it's really weird. It's very preachy. It's a little over the top. But I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's bad. Because Venom was meh. Venom was like, I don't feel better or worse having had this experience. But once again, I think it falls under they don't know what to do with their female heroes. And with Miss Marvel, they literally thought that people were going to confuse her with Mr. Fantastic because they kind of have the same powers, more or less. And it's like, people are not that dumb. People are not that dumb, okay? You don't have to spoon feed us, alright? Alright. Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I don't know why this one's in Spanish. It says Guardides da Galaxia. Okay, I don't know. I don't know why some of these are in Spanish. Some of the posters are not in English. Guardians Part 3. Alright, Guardians Part 3 is pretty dope, actually. I would say it's better than Part 2. Let me get to it. It's better than 2. Wait, which one? Which one? Ouchie, ouchie. Let's see. Guardians. I don't think it's better than WandaVision, though. But you know what? Guardians was like tears streaming down your face while you're watching it. Because not only is it a difficult movie for Peter, it's a difficult movie for Rocket Raccoon. It's all about his friends, how he grew up, how he became, sort of the cyborg raccoon that he is, this sort of experimental, just an experiment, honestly. Someone's invention and plaything that ends up, having real feelings, and that's some of Marvel's best writing there. If they could just do that with their female characters without giving them the massive entitlement, like, just throw them in. Just make them like everybody else. You don't have to give them very special treatment, They can still stand on their own. They don't have to be the damsel in distress, but if you go too far the opposite of damsel of distress, you get something that's very unentertaining and very abrasive. And it also ends up coincidentally not being a good female role model either, because it goes too far the other way. So you don't want women to have female role models that are so weak and always have to be saved and stuff like that. You want them to have some sort of, defense or some sort of excitement or passion or all these various things. Okay. Hawkeye. I actually really liked Hawkeye. I don't like what they did to Kingpin, because I felt like they made him kind of weak in the end. But actually, Hawkeye's a pretty good one. I would put Hawkeye right here. Yeah, because like WandaVision, I feel like WandaVision really is the best of Disney Plus. And I like Falcon and Winter Soldier, but like Hawkeye surpassed it for sure. I was very interested in that show, and I think it had some interesting twists and turns, and Kate Bishop was perfectly cast, and I can't wait to see more of that. Yelena, getting to see her show up was really great. Seeing Kingpin back, gave us hope that the whole Daredevil, the Netflix universe, was all going to work out, right? Okay, speaking of Yelena, we have the Black Widow movie. Now, I should say, I love the Black Widow character. And I don't think Black Widow was poorly written. So, this is a good thing. Black Widow, she's strong, right? She's a well-written female character, right? She was put through hell, and she becomes this badass, awesome, ass-kicking spy. But she has a good personality with it. She has charm, she has sarcasm, but she's not making butt jokes every 5 seconds. I do think the biggest mistake with the Black Widow movie was not doing it sooner. After Avengers 2012, they should have immediately said, okay, who in this cast have we not done movies for? Okay, Hulk, Hawkeye, and Black Widow. Which one could we do the most with? Okay, everyone wants to see a female superhero on screen, right? Everyone's chomping at the bit for it. And DC, not too long after, does Wonder Woman. And you still don't have the courage to put a strong female hero on the screen. And then you don't have the courage to actually do it right. So, you have Florence Pugh as Yelena. You have David Harbour as Red Guardian. You've got, of course, Scarlett Johansson back in. So I think it would have been more interesting to let us either get the Black Widow origin story or have her going on adventures with Cap and her own movie, or just let her have her own movie. Maybe she meets up with the Punisher or something. Like, do something cool like that. I think Punisher and Black Widow, to me, are like two of my favorite that I love when they meet. When they meet in the comics, they meet in the Punisher video game that I've been playing on the channel. I think we already played that mission, actually. But they meet, and it's like a... Dude, there is so much tension. Sexual tension. Between those two. And, you know, it's kind of... We can't really talk about all the they do. You know, there's a whole lot of... And, you know, Punisher really... we gotta talk about. Yeah, they could have explored her and Bucky. There's, you know, and there sort of was this a little bit of a hint of a romance between her and Cap, but then she kind of shifted to sort of being the only one who could see Bruce Banner for who he really is, and she sort of started comforting him, and it felt like there was maybe a little bit of a thing between them. So I don't know. There were a million different places that they could have explored, and this movie, even then, if they did this before Infinity War, this movie would have been a million times better. But that is the only reason why I have to dock it some points. Is Infinity War, we already know that... Okay, so spoiler alert, guys. We already know that she's dead. So you're going back and making a prequel movie. Like, there's no risks. We know she's not going to die because we know she lives. So, I mean, it's really weird. So you either have to have a really compelling story that gives her an interesting background, or gives her some interesting enemy that it actually makes us doubt what we know to be a fact. Is that, oh, she dies later, but actually, oh, holy crap, what if she dies like right now? They could rewrite the whole universe or something. They could do some, you know, crazy comic book hysteria. No. So I want to put it somewhere high, but it definitely doesn't. It needs to be in B. B or top of C. That's hard to say. I don't know where to rank it against Loki and... Okay, hang on. Because legitimately, it is better than Captain Marvel. It does have better writing. She is a better execution of a strong female character. She is one of the best female characters in the MCU. Yeah. Okay. Let's get to a tricky one. Infinity War. Let's see, this one has Nomad Cap, which I think would have made a great movie. If they had shown like what Cap was doing while he was hiding after the events of Civil War. You know, the people that chose to be on Cap's side, which I believe is the right side, was the correct side. That, because I mean, essentially what Iron Man was for was like a police state. He was like, let's put an armored suit all over the world and everyone will be safe. But it turns out there's this big moral quandary that comes up when you talk about whether it is more important to be free or is it more important to be safe. You can't have both. You can't be safe and free. It's sort of like the three triangle ends of the triangle, and you can only pick two. You can only have a girl that's hot, crazy, or what was the third one? It was like hot, crazy, mentally stable. No, mentally stable. So the other one. I don't know. I don't know. I don't remember what the three parts were. Like hot, crazy, or likes you. I don't know. I forget. But yeah, you can only pick two of the three. So it becomes very difficult because Cap is for freedom, Tony is for more security, but you get too much security, you don't have freedom. And you could end up with sort of a Minority Report type situation. Now I'm starting to think about where I want to put in Civil War. I almost want to do Civil War first. Let's do Civil War first because it makes more sense, right? It makes way more sense to do Civil War first. Hang on. So, Civil War, I think, should have been a 2-part movie. It is the more than anything in the comics, it is the single biggest Marvel event I think that has ever happened because it's literally heroes killing heroes. People die. And Civil War didn't have those stakes in the movie theater. It had some really good fight scenes. The airport being a little lackluster, just a bunch of guys like fighting in a parking lot. It just didn't really hit. But I would put that one. I'm going to put this one pretty high. Hang on. Civil War is definitely... I like it more than Age of Ultron. Civil War... Maybe there. Maybe above Spider-Man 3. But under Amazing Spider-Man. It's really weird to rank all those movies with the MCU, but I kind of like the challenge here. Now, if we talk about Infinity War, Cap's entrance is chef's kiss. Absolutely. Seeing him with the long hair, the beard, you know, the star is gone, the Avengers badge on his shoulder is gone, you know, he's like, that's not who I am anymore. And he's like, I put down the shield, I don't even use the shield anymore. And then he gets those shields from Wakanda. Also, look at the sort of archetype here that we see on the cover of the movie. We've got Iron Man doing the Jesus pose, right? He's letting you know that he's going to be the sacrifice. He's not the one to do the sacrificial play, right? Infinity War has even more Avengers on screen, and it's well balanced, because that was the worry of the first Avengers. It was like, how are we going to give each of these characters enough screen time that feels justified? Well, now we had to add in Black Panther, we had to add in Bucky, we had to add in Thor and the Guardians of the Galaxy. I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot of heroes. Doctor Strange shows up. I mean, there's a lot of juggling. Spider-Man shows up. There's a lot going on here. So, Infinity War... I made these like jumbo size now. I actually kind of like this better. Infinity War has to be... It's better than Age of Ultron. Hang on, I gotta bring it back to reality here for a minute. Infinity War... Is it better than Civil War? Because Civil War like had me in tears when Cap was just kicking Tony Stark's ass, like, and he goes like, he just knows that this fight is for keeps, and he comes down with the shield and just like breaks Tony's heart, like literally. Like that, like watching two of my favorite heroes, it's very much like Batman versus Superman. It was very hard, it was very heartfelt, and I was like, I hate watching them fight, but it made for a gut-wrenching moment there. So yeah, I gotta rank that pretty high. Yeah. Endgame. Endgame is legit up there. It's one of the biggest moments. It's that 10-year payoff, right? Endgame. I think we got to put Endgame up there with Infinity War. I'm not sure which one is better. You don't get one without the other, right? So like Infinity War sets up Endgame really well. The things I like about Endgame, time travel was well executed. It put Tony in a very interesting spot of meeting his father as a grown man and relating to him and talking to him. It puts Cap in a situation where he gets to see Peggy Carter again and he doesn't know what to do. He's like sort of peeking at her and he's like, what do I, like I can't introduce myself to her again. She thinks I'm dead. Like, what if she's moved on? All these things. Yeah, I think that's a good spot for it. Right? Definitely one of the best selling ones, right? Yeah, that's a good one. Black Panther, dude. Okay, Black Panther is actually dope. Black Panther. I put it up there somewhere. It's got to be an A tier. Yeah. A tier. Yeah, the hammer moment with Cap was really good in Endgame. I think Hulk trying to put on the Infinity Glove was a big deal. Paul Rudd had some really funny moments as Ant-Man. I like that. I'm gonna zoom in. I think the fight scene at the end, the payoff was really good. Cap does the hammer thing, and it means so much more when T'Challa comes in and it's like all the reinforcements show up at, the one big moment. And I think that hits harder now, knowing that Chadwick Boseman isn't around anymore. That moment hits like 10 times harder. It hits you like a truck. It's a really good movie. It really is. And I feel like this is also the one time that they did the female writing correct. When all the women got together in the fight scene at the end, A+. They did it right. It wasn't preachy, wasn't too much. It was their moment to shine, and it was dope. I don't think the Captain Marvel and Thor encounter that happens was very well written. It's kind of the same thing. It's just a pissing contest between the two of them, of like who has the bigger. All right. Oh my god. All right, let's try to get it back down to some regular size here. Yeah, the Wakanda chant, the Avengers theme in the background. You got that right. 10 out of 10. Yeah, we've lost a lot of incredible actors, right? Paul Walker, Carrie Fisher, Chadwick Boseman, for sure. Now, Wakanda Forever. I'll tell you what, I like it more than Miss Marvel. I'm not sure. I need to rewatch Incredible Hulk. I feel like Incredible Hulk should own this spot. Top of C. Wakanda Forever is really good. It's heart-wrenching. It does everything it needs to do to pay homage to Chadwick Boseman. Now, it introduces Ironheart but I feel like I wish they had done that better. I feel like there needs to be more of an Iron Man tie-in, or more of the movie should have given her more backstory, because she really just makes this suit out of nowhere, and she's just an extra character in there that's armored up, and even the Dora Milaje armor up at the end, and it's just the weirdest, ugliest armor I've ever seen. But I do like what was that? It was like a fight scene in DC with the car chase on the bridge and all that. That was pretty cool. It's and here's the other thing: Samuel L. Jackson, even Sam Wilson, his actor, they were all like, why were we not in a Wakanda movie? Like all the African American guys were like, why did they not let us interact with Wakanda? Like, it would have been so cool to see, maybe some of the Avengers and Nick Fury come over to see, like, okay, well, can we get Black Panther formally into the Avengers, or is he just going to show up when things get rough? I feel like there could have been a little bit of a tie in there. I didn't really like Shuri taking over the I know that she does take over in the comics, but I was kind of hoping that one of the other characters would take it up. I was really okay. Hang on, let me pull up. Wakanda Forever. So I was thinking that Nakia would take it up, or that he actually wasn't in the movie. He was the what was his name? He was in the first Black Panther. Let me see if I can find that. Yeah, there it is. Black Panther 2018. It was either M'Baku or Wakabi. I think it was M'Baku, I think. Maybe. But Daniel Kaluuya, who was Wakabi, I think he was busy. He was not able to show up in the Black Panther sequel. No, I think M'Baku... No, M'Baku was the mountain, the king of the mountain clan. So I thought either he would be good or Wakabi would be good, and he was. But I also I would have preferred Nakia. I think that would have been a good fit. Lupita Nyong'o. Yeah, I think maybe M'Baku was the man. If a man were to take the role, I think he would have been a good fit. Yeah. Yeah, I think Nick Fury. Yeah, that could have been a reason if they were going to show up in Wakanda Forever, like come to pay their condolences, or even in the first movie, there could have been some sort of encounter, even if it was a brief cameo. He could be like, "Oh, I'm keeping tabs on the King of Wakanda." Let's see what's going on. And the interesting thing, I wish we had gotten to see this play out, is that Black Panther usually ends up dating Storm from the X-Men, and boy, if we could have seen that on the big screen, that would have been a really fun payoff. There's so much that could have been done with Black Panther had they either been able to make sequels or had they recast the role. But in the end, they probably made the right choice. Or actually the surprise of like Eric Killmonger, from like another universe showing up. Like I thought it was either going to be one of those choices. It's a tricky one. Yeah. All right, we're getting into the Deadpool 2. Okay, what year was Deadpool 2? Let's see. This one introduced Cable, Josh Brolin as Cable. Zazie Beetz as Domino. Of course, you had some of your returning X-Men cast, Colossus and the like. Vanessa, she was cool. I don't know how I would rank it compared to the first movie. I feel like the first movie came in swinging a little more than part 2 did. But I still think part 2 is really strong. I might put it at the bottom of B tier. Yeah, Deadpool just dominating right here. Okay, Marvel Legends. I don't really know why this one's on the list. Yeah, Marvel Studios Legends was a docu-series. I don't... It's just a good, like... Yeah, it's just like a good way to do like a refresher or something, you know, if like a friend, you know, doesn't want to watch 22 movies to get caught up on the MCU. Now it's obviously way more. Or if someone like, you know, needs a refresher on like, oh, well, what did Iron Man do up to this point, you know? You could just like watch some of the episodes. Yeah, I almost want to put it in like the haven't seen it, because it just doesn't have anything to do. Like you can't like put it up here and say like, oh, it's better than Guardians, like. So I'm gonna say it is really good. I have seen it, but it's unnecessary here. Okay, all right. I think this part right here, this is the hardest part for me, because I think these are some of my favorite shows, my favorite Marvel projects. I already have some up in S tier. We got Captain America the Winter Soldier, we got Thor, we got Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, Doctor Strange, and Iron Man. I think Daredevil, and I love Captain America a lot, but I think Daredevil is the single best Marvel show that's ever been done. It captures the theme perfectly. The casting is perfect. The cinematography is perfect. The fight scenes are perfect. It is literally so grounded and so perfect. It's bloody. It's crude. It just doesn't fall with the rest of the PG-13 Marvel movies. And it doesn't make silly little fart jokes. Like, it has a sense of humor. There's the avocados at law joke. You know, there's all sorts of stuff in there. It's literally one of the best. Absolutely. Then, let's see. Luke Cage, Jessica Jones. I'm trying to go in order here. Jessica Jones. I would put her... She's also one of the best written female characters. She's really good. There's no weird feminist agenda happening. There's no... like overly, you know. She's well written. She's strong. She is quite capable, but also she does need to sort of learn from her mistakes. She has a hot temper. She's really powerful, so she kind of has to tone that down at times. She has to be careful about when to use her powers. She has PTSD that she's going through. There's sort of probably an abuse situation with Kilgrave. So it definitely makes her one of the more compelling. So I gotta throw her up in S tier. I think Luke Cage, gotta throw him up there too. Luke Cage is really good. Um, Michael. Oh no! Don't let me blank on his name. Luke Cage. Michael Coulter. He's incredible. Perfectly cast. He's ripped. He's got the personality. The music is perfect. The fight scenes, the cinematography. They sort of made it a blaxploitation type flick. You've got perfectly cast Misty Knight. Shades is really interesting. Of course, Rosario Dawson as Claire Temple, the night nurse, showing up in Daredevil. All of these series, sort of being the connecting thread that's working with all these various heroes in New York. Mahershala Ali as Cottonmouth was just incredible. Perfectly cast. Yeah, I think they just really captured that character in a perfect way. And I wish we had seen more. Iron Fist. Okay. Iron Fist gets a lot of hate. Iron Fist gets a lot of hate. I actually like it. I think season 1 is really strong. Season 2, not as much. But season 1, really good. Finn Jones, he learned those fight scenes really well. I don't think season 2, if I remember right, I think season 2 ended up having more fight scenes. But I think the scheduling was really rough. And so it felt like they didn't have a lot of time to learn all those. The casting was really good for the Meachums. Carrie Ann Moss showing up as her character once again, sort of playing the lawyer. Yeah, I think Iron Fist really strong. I like the character. I like the show. I was really intrigued. I don't know a whole lot about Iron Fist, but I'd put him up here somewhere. Let's see. I definitely like Luke Cage a little more. He's kind of tied with Luke Cage. I'd put him in front. I'd put him behind. It depends what. I guess overall Luke Cage probably has more better seasons than Iron Fist did, because I really feel like season 1 was like the big moment for Iron Fist. The Punisher. The Punisher. John Bernthal totally nails it. I think he's got to be up here. But I still think a lot of these movies are just core, really good superhero movies. Defenders ends up being really strong as well. I'm going to put that, because that was finally the moment where everybody teams up. I'm going to put it right there. Yeah, where Daredevil, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and Jessica Jones all team up, going up against Sigourney Weaver. Really awesome. I wish that movie had been a bigger moment, and I wish that Marvel hadn't been so stingy to sort of allow a lot of their TV shows. They were like always kind of loosely connected, because like Daredevil essentially started after Avengers, after the events of New York. And that was pretty much one of the few tie-ins, right? So I wish they had been a little more cool about connecting all of those together. But yeah, here it is. I'm gonna go ahead and save that. I'm gonna download the image. Okay, it downloaded. And that's the tier list right there. I feel pretty good on those. So Daredevil at the top, Captain America and Thor, Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, Doctor Strange, Iron Man, Defenders, Punisher, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones. In A tier, we got Guardians, Avengers, Iron Man 3, Captain America, the first Avenger, Amazing Spider-Man, Captain America Civil War, which should have been an Avengers movie. I think they should have done a Captain America movie, a third one, and then made Avengers Civil War Parts 1 and 2. Okay, then we have Infinity War, Endgame, Black Panther, Spider-Man 3, Moon Knight, Iron Man 2, What If, Ant-Man, Shang-Chi. B tier, we got Deadpool, Avengers Age of Ultron, Thor the Dark World, WandaVision, Hawkeye, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Black Widow, Captain Marvel, Loki, and Deadpool 2. C tier, which is, just kind of really, okay, pretty good. Incredible Hulk, which is Edward Norton. Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Miss Marvel, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, which, once again, one of my most heavily anticipated sequels that I felt like just kind of missed the mark. In terms of writing, in terms of Scarlet Witch, in terms of bringing back all these beloved heroes from the 90s and early 2000s and then instantly killing them off. Quantumania, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Spider-Man Homecoming, No Way Home, She-Hulk, Amazing Spider-Man 2. D tier just kind of made me shrug my shoulders. I just didn't feel one way or the other about Venom. And then in F tier, what I believe are the worst Marvel movies are Spider-Man Far From Home, Thor Ragnarok, and Thor Love and Thunder, because both of the Thor movies were just, humor, jokes, over the top, not really following a very good superhero theme, don't really have any sort of point or transition of, the hero going from, a point of weakness to a point of strength, or learning from mistakes or something like that. It's really just them making jokes and going on throughout. And then, of course, the worst Marvel movie is Morbius at the bottom there. Marvel Legends just doesn't make sense in this category, so we don't have that included. So I just wanted to take it off the list, essentially. Secret Invasion, I haven't seen, but I do want to see. Venom Let There Be Carnage, I do want to see. I've not seen the Guardians of the Galaxy special. Werewolf by Night, I have not seen, but it is kind of a Halloween time, so I think it's a perfect time. Eternals, I literally fell asleep during it, and I've not queued it up on Disney Plus again since, so I'll just get around to it sometime. I've not seen the I Am Groot series, and I really have no interest in Kraven. It's the same way that Morbius and Venom were just not movies that I really wanted to see. I'd rather see these characters in a Spider-Man movie. I think even Morbius could have been better had he been in a Spider-Man movie. So yeah, that's where we stand. That is the list on Tiermaker. Let's go ahead and shift over to the second one. I'm gonna do a quick break, but I'm gonna leave it up right here. I'm gonna let you guys kind of glance at the list. I'm gonna do just a very quick break, grab a drink, stretch, all that stuff, and we'll be back in just a moment. Alright, gamers. Alright, this is part 2. We've done kind of the bona fide MCU tier list. And here, I kind of have this second tier list, which has some things that were not in the first one. I want to edit this a little bit. And let's make this one, haven't seen it yet. Okay? I think that's kind of a fair way to go through it. WHIH Newsfront. What? American current affairs. Viral marketing campaigns for Marvel superheroes. Yeah, I definitely never watched that. I have no clue what that is. I did not watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but I would like to. Nothing against it. Just didn't get around to it. Agent Carter is actually one I'd like to watch as well. I'm gonna zoom in just a little bit, because these icons are super tiny. Let's see. I think Spider-Man, I already kind of had that in S tier. Spider-Man 2 was right behind it. Spider-Man 3, at least somewhere in, was it A tier? Yeah. Amazing Spider-Man. I'm gonna kind of reference, some of the stuff we've done previously. I think that one was before Spider-Man 3. Amazing Spider-Man 2, which I said was kind of lackluster. I think we had that one at bottom of C tier. Consultant, that's a one-shot. I'd actually like to see that. I just haven't really followed the one-shots. All Hail the King, that's another one-shot. Newsfront Special Report, didn't catch that one. Daredevil, pretty sure we had that. Very top of S tier. All Hail the King is good. I'll check it out. Yeah, it's on Disney Plus, isn't it? Jessica Jones, we had that in S tier. I think was Deadpool B tier? Yeah. And Deadpool 2 was B tier. Just as we kind of get into... Okay, I haven't seen Venom Let There Be Carnage. But I want to see Agent Carter, actually, more than any of those. I would be so excited to check that out. Okay, I think we had Luke Cage just before Jessica Jones. I really love Luke Cage. Iron Fist was up there. Yeah, just behind Luke Cage. Item 47, that looks like another short. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of those were either direct to Disney or they were like shown in the theater. Some of them before the movie, and maybe I just didn't catch them. Okay, there's another Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. here, so I don't know if that's like season 1 or something. I don't know. I'll put that there. Moon Knight. I think we had that in A tier. Yeah, just behind Spider-Man 3. Perfect. I actually really like Moon Knight. Venom we had in D tier, just kind of meh. Neither here nor there. Okay, why is there... I guess they did individual seasons. I just haven't had time for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Jessica Jones, Season 2, definitely good. Season 1 was definitely better. Like, Kilgore was absolutely dope. Oh, there's Season 3. Season 3... say, you know, the show just kind of really peaked in Season 1, but still good. Still good. Miss Marvel. Let's see, I think we had that either B or C. I think it was C. Yeah, just below Incredible Hulk. Which, where's Incredible Hulk? If that's on this list. Yep, there it is. Incredible Hulk. Boop. Morbius. Oh, we need F tier, guys. Add a row below. F. What color should we make F? Like a blue? No. No, it's got to be bad. It's got to be like a bad color. No, it's the same color as... if we did like blue. Light blue. And then haven't seen it yet, could be like dark blue. That way we're not reusing any colors. Yeah, okay. Morbius, F tier. I Am Groot, I have not seen, but I'm not really in a hurry. Marvel's The Punisher, we gotta bring that up. Punisher. Yeah, I had it above Luke Cage. Wow. Yeah, I really did like The Punisher. 100%. Let's see. I think that's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 4 when they added Ghost Rider. Peter's To-Do List. I think I've seen that short. But, yeah, just kind of mediocre. Not really here for it. I have not seen The Runaways, but yeah, because it's on Hulu, and for the longest time, I just did not have Hulu. Man Thing, haven't seen that, but I would rank it kind of low, low priority. I don't even know what that is. Is that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 6, I guess? I don't know. Let's see, I think this is Cloak and Dagger, Season 2. Yeah, Punisher was dope, dude. I liked Punisher. How many seasons of Agent Carter was there? Because there's multiple pictures here. It's not really clear to me which one's which. There's like 3 of them. The Guardians Christmas special. Haven't seen that yet. But I guess I'd rank it as something I'd kind of like to see. Let's see, I think this is Iron Fist Season 2. No, Season 1. Yeah, Season 1 better than Season 2. I would say Season 2 is not as good. Yeah. There might be 3 seasons. I don't even know what order to put them in based on these pictures here. Really hard to say. Captain America, the Winter Soldier, was S tier. We had that up there. let's see, the first Iron Man was S tier. I think it was after Spidey, yeah, and Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange. That's Multiverse of Madness. Where's the first? Oh, there's Thor. It's actually my fave. Thor is right up there. Getting into the tricky stuff. This is Daredevil. Forget, that might be season 3. Yeah, because season 2 was with Frank Castle. Yeah, season 2 was really strong, but season 1 was absolute best of Daredevil. Luke Cage season 2 was dope. I would say Iron Fist season 1 was better than Luke Cage season 2. And Jessica Jones was better than that, yeah. Luke Cage season 1 really had a strong start and end point. What happened on the way to Thor's hammer? I think I've seen that, but like I just feel like rating the shorts is kind of fluff. There's only like 1 or 2 of the shorts that I've seen, and I just don't feel like they're very seeming to connect here. Okay, there's Inhumans. I have not seen Inhumans, but I would put it right there behind Venom, or Let There Be Carnage. Yeah, as something I would like to see. The Runaways. Looks like there's 3 seasons of that. This looks like Cloak and Dagger season 1, which I would also like to see. I just didn't get around to anything that was on Hulu at the time. Captain America. It's behind Iron Man 3. A tier. Here's Iron Man 3. Ah, frick. Alright. 3. We're gonna have some big tough choices to make. Some of these movies that are on this list that weren't on the first one are gonna be a little tricky. Guardians and then Avengers. Is that the first Guardians right there? Maybe. Annie. That's Ultron. Yeah, these images are not great. Okay, there's the first Avengers. It's like they used some of the movie posters on some of these. Yeah, the Lego Marvel games, if I had time, I would definitely do them. Spider-Man, then Civil War, and Infinity War, and Endgame. Civil War right there. Civil War was after Amazing Spider-Man. Civil War. Infinity War. And then Endgame. Endgame. So we put Endgame up there. Oh, there's Doctor Strange. I was like, where the hell is it? I just could not find it. Yeah, these images are definitely not as good, but this list had some of the movies and TV shows and stuff that the previous list did not include. I think they were being like super adamant about like, oh, this is what's canon. Okay, so Doctor Strange right there. Let's see, Homecoming was like C tier. Above Amazing Spider-Man 2. Let's see, Thor Ragnarok was F. It's better than Morbius. Far From Home. Slightly better than Morbius. She-Hulk was she bottom of C? Yeah. Like, not as bad as Amazing Spider-Man 2, but definitely bad. Let's see, No Way Home. Say it was just a little better than She-Hulk. El Capitan. Captain Marvel was near the end of B tier, but before Deadpool 2. This is Ant-Man and the Wasp, which we had at C tier before Spider-Man Homecoming. Oh, Defenders. Defenders. Yeah. Or Dark World was like B tier, wasn't it? Age of Ultron. Where did I put Age of Ultron? Right there. Age of Ultron. I had just above Dark World. We're getting there. Loki was just before Deadpool 2. WandaVision was like, wasn't it like high B tier somewhere? Yeah, it was right behind Thor. Dark World. But better than Captain Marvel. I don't know why I switched back. Make sure there's nothing here at the top that'll make this easier. Okay, the first Ant-Man. I think that was like back of A tier somewhere. Where is Ant-Man? Holy crap, did I What's up, Kong? Dude, we're on part 2 here. We're on our second tier list here. We have a lot. We have a lot. We have a lot. This is the first list, though. I'm really proud of this one. Because this one is mostly MCU. Why can't I find Ant-Man all of a sudden? Yeah, like, that's why I think Spider-Man 3 ranks a little higher than I thought. Yeah. That's why I have it up there a little bit. Because I remember not liking it as much in the theater, but it's kind of grown on me over time. But there's still things I don't like. It's definitely an imperfect movie. But I still hold the Raimi trilogy to be pretty high up there. And I think a better depiction of Venom. Yeah, I actually really like it. Like, I think the problem with me was, like, everybody cries at the end. That's the part I always made fun of. Was like, Harry's crying, Peter's crying, Sandman's crying. Like, all the villains just give up at the end. They're just like, oh, why don't we just have a good cry? Oh, no, that's Quantumania. Dude, I swear Ant-Man. Oh, I have to scroll. That's probably why. Yeah. Okay, Ant-Man was bottom of A tier. Okay, I have it in a good spot. Behind Moon Knight, yeah. Okay, so this second list has like all the X-Men movie stuff. Okay, Shang-Chi, I had that in A tier. So I'm kind of rebuilding the first list here because it's a good start. We can kind of recreate this on the second list. Yeah, so we got... Oh no, Shang-Chi is after Ant-Man. And What If is before Shang-Chi. What If is... No, What If is before Ant-Man, sorry. Iron Man 2 and What If. Iron Man 2. And these pictures are really tiny. Alright, there's What If. What If is before Ant-Man on A tier. There's Iron Man 2 right there. I think Iron Man 2 gets an unjust amount of hate. So I actually have it pretty high on the list. Like, I like Shang-Chi because it's a good kung fu movie. He's a hero that I know little to nothing about. It redeems what they did in Iron Man 3 with the Mandarin because they actually did Mandarin right this time around. And it was just really cool to see. I think his name was like, what, Terry or something? Was like the real guy's name? The actor that played Mandarin? Yeah. I'll zoom out in a second so you can kind of get a recap here, but I wanted to zoom in a little bit so I could get some of these done. Let's see. I think Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness did not live up to expectations. The writing was just not there. So yeah, right there next to Miss Marvel in C tier. Black Widow. Where did I put Black Widow? I had it in B tier, just above Captain Marvel, because I do think it is the best, most well-written female character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yeah, I think there's better kung fu movies or kung fu heroes. Like Iron Fist is better. I mean, I even think Daredevil's fight scenes are better, even if that's not kung fu. But I think Iron Fist did kung fu even better than Shang-Chi. Quantumania, all over the green screen, man. It was. I think it's better than people said it was, but it also wasn't incredible. So I put it there right above Ant-Man and the Wasp in C tier. Hawkeye, I actually really enjoyed. I think Kate Bishop was well executed. We put that in B tier, right behind WandaVision. but before Black Widow. That was a story that like had me week after week, solid. Um, for Love and Thunder, I will put that in F tier, right next to Ragnarok and Morbius and Far From Home, as the absolute worst Marvel movies. The New Mutants I have not seen, but I would say I either want to see it before or after The Runaways. I don't know. I haven't seen anything that's on Hulu because I didn't have Hulu for a while, and I have the ad program on Hulu, which means it's really painful when I watch shows on Hulu because you gotta sit there and watch all the ads, and it's like the same commercial over and over, and it just burns you out. It just drives you insane. Okay, Wakanda Forever, I think I had in C tier behind Incredible Hulk. I think it was a good tribute to Chadwick Boseman, but there were just some parts that were kind of weak, but it also made me cry several times, so there is that. Guardians 2, I think we had either B tier? We have a B? Yeah, kind of like bottom of B. It's just a little better than Black Widow, but not great. Okay, we're almost there. We're almost to the stuff we haven't done, the nitty gritty. Falcon and Winter Soldier, I liked quite a bit, but not too much. I think we had it. Was it behind Guardians 2? No, it was. I had it above Guardians 2. I don't know. Yeah, but I had WandaVision and Hawkeye being better than Falcon and the Winter Soldier. you're like, Wakanda Forever was not for me, and I'm black. I think what I said earlier was I didn't like Shuri as the choice, and I think they leaned into the strong female character archetype too hard, and they overcompensated. So I think it would have been better had they picked Lupita Nyong'o's character, or if they picked the mountain guy, M'Baku. I think he would have been way better. Either one of them would have been a better Black Panther. Even Killmonger from another universe would have been a good choice, I think. But I didn't like Shuri in the MCU. Yeah, I don't think Incredible Hulk is bad. I just think there's a lot of movies that are better. I actually like Edward Norton and his Hulk. Yeah. Bop, bop, bop. Mm. Wait, which one were you talking about? I haven't watched anything with him until his name is cleared. Are we talking about Jonathan Majors? Or Tenoch Like there's a couple people that have been problematic, but I'm seeing yeah, sure she's like 4'2" or something, or 5 feet. I don't know. Sure he's like this skinny little girl, you know, who beats up like a freaking ripped Aquaman god. It's not super believable, but it definitely happens. Yeah, I actually think he crushed it in Quantumania. He did really good. I think he was better in Loki, but Quantumania really is setting the scene for what's to come. And I loved him in Lovecraft Country. I absolutely adored that show. I really enjoyed that. Haven't seen Werewolf by Night, but it is on my list. So I'll put it strongly in the haven't seen it yet but would like to see it because it's also kind of Halloween era here. Howard the Duck, I don't think I ever saw that show. I would rather see it more than a couple of these other things. I haven't seen Man Thing or this WHIH, this News Front, where they sort of, brought up news stuff from yeah, and it was like to spread Marvel. It was like be like Marvel commercials or whatever, essentially. Okay, are we? Oh, Eternals. I fell asleep, and I never gave it another try. I do want to give it another try. Guess I'll put it before Inhumans. I don't know. Hard to say. Hard to say on those haven't seen it yet. Like, it was all right before I fell asleep, but then I kind of keep forgetting to watch it again. Oh, Black Panther. The first Black Panther I put up pretty high on my list. I think was it A tier? Yeah, right above Spider-Man 3. The Black Panther. Right above Spider-Man 3. There we go, baby. Aaron's old? What does that mean? Yeah, he was amazing in Loki. Like he was firing on all cylinders on that one. I think did we almost? Yeah, see, these are the ones that were not on the first list. What is that? Is that slide shot? I can't even read this. I gotta zoom in. Some of these icons are so freaking small. I gotta figure out what from this list I haven't seen. Slingshot. No, I definitely haven't seen that. Unfortunately, no. And Hellstrom? No, I haven't seen that either. Now, some of those are a little niche. Oh, and I think that's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 1. I haven't seen any of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm just gonna put that in the haven't seen category. Alright. I'll zoom it back out now, because well, hang on. Is this Thomas Jane's Punisher? I'm gonna assume it is. Oh, it might not be. No, I don't think it is. Dude, they forgot Tom Jane's Punisher. Okay. I'm gonna make this one Tom Jane's Punisher, because we already have yeah, obviously John Bernthal's Punisher up there. Okay. Let me zoom it out so we can get logical here. Okay, so the first tier list is right here. Daredevil, Winter Soldier, Thor, Spidey 2, Doctor Strange, Iron Man, Defenders, Punisher, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones. A tier is Guardians, Avengers, Iron Man 3, Cap, First Avenger, Amazing Spider-Man, Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame, Black Panther, Spidey 3, Moon Knight, Iron Man 2, What If, Ant-Man, Shang-Chi. B tier is Deadpool, Age of Ultron, Dark World, which I think people hate too much, but I actually like it more than others. WandaVision, Hawkeye, Guardians 3, Falcon Winter Soldier, Volume 2 of Guardians, Black Widow, Captain Marvel, Loki, Deadpool 2, Incredible Hulk, Wakanda Forever, Miss Marvel, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, Quantumania, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Homecoming, No Way Home, She-Hulk, Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 2, Venom, which just kind of had me feeling neither one way or the other, in D tier. F tier with the worst movies, Far From Home, Ragnarok, Love and Thunder, Morbius. Legends just doesn't fit with this. I haven't seen Secret Invasion or Let There Be Carnage. Haven't seen the Guardians Galaxy special, Christmas special. Haven't seen Werewolf by Night. Fell asleep during Eternals. Never put it back on. Haven't seen I'm Groot. Don't really care to see Kraven. I'd rather see Kraven in a Spider-Man movie. Okay, so now that we're here, this is our second list. We've got Daredevil 1 through 3, Winter Soldier, Thor, Spider-Man 1 and 2, Doctor Strange, Iron Man, The Defenders, Punisher, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones Season 1, Luke Cage Season 2, Jessica Jones Season 2 and 3, and Iron Fist Season 2 kind of being the worst of the Iron Man. Yeah, like, I like that they got Mysterio right. I just hate what they did to Peter Parker. They made him like an annoying, clingy beta male who literally just went through the events of Endgame, and he's still unsure of himself, and he's like, oh, I'm so scared to talk to MJ and tell her how I really feel. If only I wasn't a little okay. Yeah, I just hate everything else about the movie. I actually like Mysterio. I think Gyllenhaal did a good job, but it's like literally everything else about the movie. I just hated it. If I could put it lower, I would. I don't even like No Way Home that much. I just had to put it a little higher. I definitely like No Way Home more than Venom. You know, I definitely liked it more than the poor editing and pacing of Amazing Spider-Man 2. She-Hulk, you know, being this poor, ultra far-right feminist, you know, over the top with the strong female character so much that it was poorly done in poor taste. So, well, I mean, Peter, he's not that bad, you know? Like, he's awkward. He's awkward, but, like, somehow he gets by, right? And in Far From Home, it feels like he doesn't really get by. I feel like that's why I have Tobey's higher up. That's why I have Andrew Garfield's higher up. I think they did a better job at that. It's just modern. But I liked Homecoming better because I think they did a good job with Vulture, and it tied in really well to the Avengers. With him being sort of the weapons smuggler of the Chitauri weapons. Yeah. Yeah, Tom Holland, least favorite of the Spideys. Okay, where were we? What were we doing? I think we were just going through the list here. Yeah. Is this Guardians 1? I think that's Guardians 1. Yeah, because Guardians 2 is over here. I don't think Guardians 3 was on this list. This list is a mess. I tried to find the most updated ones, but... Yeah, I liked Amazing Spider-Man. I like Andrew Garfield way better than Tom Holland. So I put it up there pretty high. Yeah, it's like right here. Right there. But Amazing Spider-Man 2, I just think they had too many villains, executed poorly, poor editing, poor pacing. Andrew Garfield deserved better than that. And then literally just years later, they just recast Spider-Man again. Okay, alright, it looks like it's pretty much the Fox movies, more or less. Fox and maybe a couple Sony films here. Okay, so I did say that this Punisher here, this is going to be Tom Jane's Punisher for me, even though somehow they forgot it. Oh gosh, Tom Jane's Punisher. I'm going to put it right up there with Daredevil. That's where I would put it. Tom Jane's Punisher is one of my favorite Marvel films ever. I rewatch it all the time, or I used to. Now I withhold my rewatches because I want it to feel more special, so I let more time go by. So I end up not rewatching my favorite films as much as I used to. But Daredevil Season 1, I probably watch it every year. It's like a national holiday for me or something. Okay. Logan. Okay, Logan is really good. I'm gonna have to find. It's gonna be really hard to slip this one in. Maybe. Because, like, Spider Man, the original Tobey Spider Man is like the quintessential superhero movie, especially of the Marvel universe, right? Like, it puts him through all the paces. He's a young nerd that gets bullied. He gets cool powers. He ends up doing the right thing with those powers. He's trying to learn how to use those powers. You know, he's doing his best, but he's making mistakes. He's trying to get a job at the Daily Bugle. He's, taking photos of Spider-Man. You know, the Uncle Ben thing happens. And so it's like all these internal struggles are happening. And then he sort of finds out that his best friend's dad is the Green Goblin. And they duke it out. And literally one of the best Act 3 fighting scenes in a superhero movie. It's bloody. His suit gets torn. It's got the test where he drops the one car that's full of all the passengers, and then he drops Mary Jane on the other side, and it's like Spidey's got to make the choice. Like, it's beautiful cinematography, like straight out of the comics. Like, it's Sam Raimi at his best. So yeah, I feel like Logan deserves a spot right next to it, because I think Logan is the best of the Wolverine movies. It's the best of the X-Men movies. It's a really good movie that just it's the perfect swan song for Wolverine. They really didn't have to make more Wolverine, but I'm so happy that we're gonna get Hugh Jackman in the old blue and yellow suit. So for sure. Yeah, they really should have. The first Avengers should have had Wolverine in it. It would have been absolutely incredible. And yeah, and Tobey Spider-Man, would have fit really smoothly in the MCU, I think. More so than any other. Yeah. Really crazy that they couldn't come up with some way to connect those. And wasn't there was like the where Mary Jane's in her wedding dress, like Tom Jane walks by in the background. So like it shows that the Punisher was in that world. Um Oof. It's a lot. But yeah, I think Logan deserves its spot in S tier. Okay, where's like the first okay, here's the first X-Men right here. Um X-Men. What year was that? Like two movie? Yeah, 2000. Oof. 2000. The black leather suits, it's Hugh Jackman's first time in the role. James Marsden as Cyclops, which I thought was perfect. Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen were, obviously born to play those roles, right? Halle Berry was a solid Storm. Um, David Hayter was the museum cop. That's funny. Trying to see if there's anything else notable I want to mention here. Boy, I don't even know where to put that on the list. Like, it's good. Like, I remember liking it, but I don't know where it goes. I've never thought of like where does that compare with the MCU, right? It was really hard even trying to figure out where the Spider-Man movies go. Like trying to throw in like Toby and Andrew Garfield, right? Yeah, everyone was perfect on X-Men. I do feel that that's true. And I still don't understand why we haven't gotten a proper Gambit movie or just why wasn't there a proper Gambit in the first X-Men movie? I feel like he's a very core character, and they just tooted that one. It's got to go up in A tier somewhere, A or B. I'll put it right there. Okay, but X2, X-Men United, was 2003. Alan Cumming as Nightcrawler. Rebecca Romaine was Mystique. Oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, I remember looking at that. That was definitely something. Let me pull up the cast here, cause it's been a minute. I don't remember like who was introduced in what movie, so this kind of helps bring it back. Rogue. Brian Cox is William Stryker. Was this the one where they brought in Beast, or maybe it was part 3? Yeah, maybe it was part 3, huh? Yeah, I'm not seeing. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about part 2. Cause I remember, like, as a kid, I didn't like part 2 as much. Let's see. Let's get like the. Where's like the summary? When anti-mutant Colonel William Stryker kidnaps Professor X and attacks his school, the X-Men must ally with their arch enemy Magneto to stop him. X-Men 1.5. What is this commercial? It says X-Men 1.5. 5 hours of never before seen extras. Exclusive look at X2. Oh, what? I guess we gotta peep the special features on some of these old X-Men movies. There might be, yeah, X-Men 1.5 Collector's Edition DVD. That's literally a trailer here. That's insane. Someone Googled why is X2 so good. Yeah, I think we can put X2 up with the first one. I think Kelsey Grammer was perfect as Beast, though. And like Alan Cummings does a good Nightcrawler, but yeah, like they definitely had to go like full CGI with some of those guys. But like when I watched the cartoon back in the 90s, and then I saw Kelsey Grammer, who I'd watched a lot in Frasier as a kid, like I was like, holy crap, it really is, like, that's Beast. Like I saw it in his face, I saw it in his mannerisms and the way that he talks. Like it really was top tier casting, though. Even if they cast someone who's, you know, not really physically, you know, who is able to move around in the way that Beast does. Maybe Andy Serkis, but you know, that's about it. Yeah, I'll put X2 up there next to X1. How about that? Boop. Just like that. Yeah. Aesthetics. Like Mystique. Yeah, I bet all that paint. I know they had some trouble with that blue paint. Some people had like allergies and they had to do all sorts of different things. Because originally I think they were doing like paints, and some people had skin allergies. Yeah, and some of the movements CGI. Yep. But I mean, he doesn't have a whole lot of, you know, most of the time he's just talking or reading a book or something, you know. Beasts don't get too crazy. Okay, where is... Yeah, X-Men The Last Stand with the 3 Wolverine claws to make it X3. That's crazy. Oh boy. Okay, so this one, this is the one where they killed off Professor X, which I know I didn't like that as a kid. Juggernaut showed up. Kelsey Grammer's Beast. Let's see. She was Ellen Page at the time. She is now Elliot Page. She was Kitty Pryde. Who else was in this? Just trying to see if there's like anyone new that was introduced here. A lot of the returning cast is here. Yeah, you got Pyro, Colossus. It might be time to go back and rewatch. Yeah, and Shawn Ashmore as Iceman. He was really well cast too. Okay, and I'm gonna click on the synopsis here again. Yes, Elliot Page, I believe. Yeah, they actually went back into all of like Ellen Page's movies, or at least I think they went back to at least Juno and what was the other one? Yeah, and they like change their name in the credits. Yeah, yeah. Ashmore as Iceman was incredible. Okay, so X3. The human government develops a cure for mutations, and Jean Grey becomes a darker, uncontrollable persona called the Phoenix, who allies with Magneto, causing escalation into an all-out battle for the X-Men. Yeah, I mean, this is basically like Avengers, like a Civil War type event, but for the X-Men. I mean, it gets really crazy because people start picking sides, And certain mutants choose to align with Professor X, and certain mutants choose to align with Magneto, and there's like, some people want the vaccine because they just want to live a normal life. I mean, it definitely gets into a lot of stuff. It gets into like heavy science about vaccinations and stuff, but then it also goes the other way and gets pretty heavy, which all X-Men stuff does. It gets pretty heavy into the civil rights stuff as well, which is, what X-Men was originally like founded on, those ideas. Was that accepting mutants as people? Okay, so yeah, I mean, I don't know if I could put X3 above the first one. I almost feel like I just gotta line them up right there. Because X3 broke my heart. But I do have to say, I really did like Kelsey Grammer as Beast. Can't be overstated. Okay, this gets a little confusing. After that, was it X-Men Origins Wolverine? Yeah, solid trilogy. Like, I remember really liking those movies, and I played each one as they, like, each video game as they came out, even if they were, somewhat mediocre. But actually, X-Men Origins Wolverine actually ends up being one of the better video games. Now, in terms of movie, X-Men Origins Wolverine. This one ends up being a prequel, and two mutant brothers, Logan and Victor, born 200 years ago, suffer childhood trauma and have only each other to depend upon. Basically, they're fighters and killers, living from war to war throughout U.S. history. In modern times, U.S. Colonel Stryker recruits them and other mutants as commandos. Logan quits and becomes a logger, falling in love with a local teacher. When Logan refuses to rejoin Stryker's crew, the Colonel sends the murderous Victor, and now Logan wants revenge. So I think a lot of people hate this movie, if I know correctly. But I know they did Deadpool dirty in this movie. I don't really think the ending is very solid. But I enjoy a good part of the movie. So it's really hard to rank that one. Maybe just right there. It's definitely not better than his previous roles in the X-Men, and it definitely starts to launch this sort of trilogy of like Wolverine solo films. Like we have Origins Wolverine, we have the Wolverine after that, and then we had Logan after that. Let's look at let's see what we have next here. Oh, so technically, chronologically, we had X-Men First Class after X-Men Origins Wolverine. This one's interesting. Really weird because they did a reboot, but then literally 2 years later they do the Wolverine, and then a year after that they do Days of Future Past, and it brings back the original, like a lot of the original cast. And that just really threw me off. I do like James McAvoy as Professor X. I like Michael Fassbender as Magneto. Kevin Bacon was Sebastian Shaw. Jennifer Lawrence as Mystique, really good. Nicholas Hoult as Beast. Once again, I prefer Kelsey Grammer. January Jones as Emma Frost, pretty good casting there. Zoe Kravitz as Angel Salvador. Let's see what else we got here. A Man in Black Suit. Yeah, I don't think X-Men First Class is a bad movie. I don't think it belongs in A tier though. I think it belongs in B. Maybe just under Deadpool or something. Yeah. Right? I think I liked let me go to, what was the next one actually? Oh, did I close that window? Why did I do that? X-Men movies in order. Okay, Wolverine was next. I think the Wolverine is actually really good. It's a good character for him. It places Wolverine out of his element. Let me get the short synopsis here just to kind of sum it up. Wolverine comes to Japan to meet an old friend whose life he saved years ago and gets embroiled in a conspiracy involving Yakuza and mutants. And then I remember he ends up like his adamantium claws break, and then he has to like grow back his bone claws, and he uses those for a while as well. And so it's like it's kind of this, it's a really good superhero moment, is where, you know, you lose a fight, you're taken down a peg, and then you sort of have to learn to work with the tools that you have and sort of learn and grow. And he realizes that he can do a lot with what he has, and he gets hurt in that movie quite a bit. I do remember that. And some of the fight scenes were really dope. They were really gory. Yeah, I think this was a solid film. I would actually rank it pretty high. I put it like right there next to X-Men. Like his first entry is really strong, but this one's like equally strong. Okay, so it's getting very complicated, all these X-Men movies. I didn't know this was gonna be that difficult. Okay, so next is Days of Future Past, which I really like this one. So once again, it's James McAvoy, Hugh Jackman, Michael Fassbender, but then it brings back some of the original cast. Patrick Stewart, We got Jennifer Lawrence as Mystique, Ian McKellen as Magneto, Peter Dinklage as Bolivar Trask, Ellen Page at the time as Kitty Pryde, Evan Peters as Peter Maximoff, James Marsden's back as Cyclops, Sean Ashmore back as Iceman. Yeah, it's a real mishmash of both casts. You got Halle Berry as Storm, right? Morgan Lilly as Mystique. Actually, I did enjoy Days of Future Past. I would probably have to rank that one a little higher. Let me I think Days of Future Past is a there's even some episodes of the X-Men TV series, which is on Disney Plus now, that's based around the Days of Future Past comics, and it's a really solid story. One of the best X-Men stories. So the X-Men send Wolverine to the past in a desperate effort to change history and prevent an event that results in doom for both humans and mutants. I mean, it's the ultimate battle for the X-Men. I do think it's a powerful film. So I would put Days of Future Past. I don't think it's better than the first X-Men. I might think Wolverine is better, but I put it up there. Because I remember not liking 2 as much, and not liking 3 quite as much, and Origins Wolverine even kind of less than that. Okay, it's getting tricky with all these X-Men. Okay, X-Men Apocalypse came 2 years later in 2016. You had Oscar Isaac as Apocalypse. Let me pull up the full cast here. I do remember that. That was crazy. I didn't even realize it was Oscar Isaac initially. Yeah, so you got James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, Jennifer Lawrence, Nicholas Hoult, Oscar Isaac. Evan Peters is back as Quicksilver. Sophie Turner back as Jean Grey. Ty Sheridan as Cyclops. Got someone else as Nightcrawler. I'm not familiar with him. Olivia Munn as Psylocke, which I think was just perfect casting. Beautiful. Okay, and let me go back here. We'll get the synopsis for X-Men Apocalypse. Since the dawn of civilization, he was worshipped as a god. Apocalypse, the first and most powerful mutant from Marvel's X-Men universe, amassed the powers of many other mutants. Becoming immortal and invincible upon awakening after thousands of years, he is disillusioned with the world as he finds it and recruits a team of powerful mutants, including a disheartened Magneto, to cleanse mankind and create a new world order over which he will reign. As the fate of Earth hangs in the balance, Raven, with the help of Professor X, must lead a team of young X-Men to stop their greatest nemesis and save mankind from complete destruction. Yeah, I think she was a good casting for sure as Psylocke, but I wish they had done better. So, Apocalypse I didn't like as much as Days of Future Past. I don't know. I either want to put it right here after, but I feel like X-Men 2 and 3 might have been better. Yeah, that's tricky. Is that all? Oh my god, no, there's Dark Phoenix. Oh, I forgot about this one. Oh, Dark Phoenix. They just could not give up on making an X-Men movie every like 2 or 3 years. So in this one, Sophie Turner is Jean Grey, and we pretty much keep everybody. that's been in some of the previous films. Yeah, they just couldn't stick with one Jean Grey, could they? Let's see. Let me point out if there's anyone new on the cast here. Oh yeah, they got Alexander Shipp as Storm. Jessica Chastain as Vuk. Let's see. Halston Sage as Dazzler. Lamar Johnson as Match. Yeah, this one not so great. Definitely not my fave. Synopsis on this one. The X-Men, protectors of peace. Jean Grey is one of the most beloved X-Men, but when a mission goes wrong, Jean is exposed to a dark and ancient power. The power has destroyed everything it comes into contact with until power is consuming her and the world is threatened. So she releases that power with destruction and anger. The X-Men have to face an important truth. They must save either the world or their friend who threatens it. Yeah, I like Jubilee. My dream for the X-Men, what I wish they would do in live action, is just do the 90s X-Men series. Just take what the TV show did and do that in live action. Give us that Jubilee in that outfit with those powers. You know, find us a real cool, you know, give us that Rogue. Oh my gosh, if they gave us that Rogue, people would melt. Men and women alike would melt into water, you know? Okay? And that's the Gambit everyone wants to see. Channing Tatum, by the time you guys get around to it, Channing Tatum's going to be too old. Yeah, man. Oh, Darwin too. Oh, man. That hurts. I can't believe it. Yeah. I do think Olivia Munn was a good casting, though. I just think they didn't do enough with her. But also, it felt like they were redoing the X-Men like every 2 or 3 years. They were either like recasting people or making another movie, just, you know, sort of trying to hang on to the rights or something. And I was like, come on, guys. Really? Gamers, don't forget to hit that like button if you're enjoying the stream tonight. Ring that notification bell, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. Dark Phoenix. Yeah, I can't say that I like this one. Yeah, I'm just gonna put it down here in the meh category, which, you know, D was Venom. I didn't feel one way or the other. Like, you know, I watched it, I didn't love it, I didn't hate it. That's probably how I felt about Dark Phoenix. Because, I mean, I felt like X3 had already done kind of a little bit of kind of some Dark Phoenix vibes. Because Jean kind of went a little crazy in that one too. So I don't know, I felt like they just kind of kept teasing that in a lot of the X-Men movies up to that point. Oh, it's getting tricky. Oh. Wait, which is this? Is this the Fantastic Four with Michael B. Jordan? I gotta zoom in. Yeah, okay, I didn't see this one. But I'll tell you what, I would like to give it a chance. I know everyone hated it. But I'd actually rather watch that than Eternals. I'm more curious to see why everyone hated it. It's so bad. You know, on paper, let's hang on. On paper, it looked like it could be a good thing, right? It's so bad, all caps. Where is it? Okay, 2015. And look at this. It's crazy. I mean, because these guys are big stars now. You got Miles Teller as Reed Richards. You got Kate Mara as Sue Storm. You got Michael B. Jordan as Johnny Storm and Jamie Bell as Ben Grimm. Toby Kebbell as Victor Von Doom. Okay. Yeah, anyway. I'm not gonna go too far down the rabbit hole. But, and wasn't the director, they were kind of taking a chance on him, but he had better movies? And this one just didn't pan out for some reason? I don't know. Yeah. Casting could have been good, but writing bad. A strong cast and effective first two acts brought down by a rushed, half-hearted ending. Yeah, I gotta watch that one. I gotta see it. But yeah, I'll plop it there on the haven't seen it yet. Wait, what is this? X-Men The Last Stand? We already did this. Wait, why? There's X-Men again. What is this? What is this? Why are there... I think we already did those. Yeah, it's right here. Okay, I'm not gonna put those up again. Yeah, Chronicle was dope. Yeah, so see, that's probably why they trusted him. They saw him do like one movie good, and they were like, yeah, let's give him like one of the biggest. I mean, they took a shot on a lot of directors that way. Patty Jenkins was like the same way for Wonder Woman. Like, she had just had like a previous film, I believe, before that, and then she just like struck gold with Wonder Woman, and then immediately lost it with Wonder Woman 84. Unfortunately. Yeah, that's a bummer. Cause like Chronicle was dope, Jumper was dope. Those were interesting movies of that time. Okay, so we don't have to do these two X-Men. Those are okay. Blade 2 and Blade Trinity. Blade. Where would I put Blade? I have to say, yeah. I think I would literally... We'll pull up a synopsis, but I think I would literally just put him right there. Like, I don't feel one way or the other about these three. But I don't think they're worse than Wakanda Forever and all these other like kind of mid-range MCU movies. Like, I like The Incredible Hulk, and I think the first Blade is really good. Yeah, and I don't remember disliking these, but the early 2000s was just this era of... It was like the Underworld movies, the Resident Evil movies, Aeon Flux, Blade. It was just this oversaturation. Even The Matrix, with it's just every movie coming out was like action film, techno, leather, and like guns, swords, katanas, lichens, and it's like, come on, man. Like it's all this. Yeah, it's everybody copy pasta, The Matrix. So Blade dropped in 98. Let's see. In a world where vampires walk the earth, Blade has a goal. His goal is to get is to rid the world of all vampire evil. When Blade witnesses a vampire bite Dr. Karen Jensen, he fights away the beast and takes Jensen back to his hideout. Here, alongside Abraham Whistler, who sounds like an old colonial man, attempts to help heal Jensen. The vampire Quinn, who is attacked by Blade, reports back to his master, Deacon Frost, who is planning a huge surprise for the human population. This summer, you think you know the story. You think you know the tale, but you don't. Blade, 1998. Rated R. It is rated R. It's rated R for strong, pervasive vampire violence and gore, language, and brief sexuality. Yeah. That's rough, dude. Absolutely. Blade 2 and Blade Trinity. Oh, Hellboy. I just saw Hellboy next to it. I remember that one. Alright, Blade 2. A rare mutation has occurred within the vampire community, just like every other vampire movie that we saw in the early 2000s. The Reaper. A vampire so consumed with an insatiable bloodlust that they prey on vampires as well as humans, transforming victims who are unlucky enough to survive into reapers themselves. Now their quickly expanding population threatens the existence of vampires. Soon there won't be enough humans in the world to satisfy their bloodlust. Blade Whistler and an armory expert named Scud are curiously summoned by the Shadow Council. The Council reluctantly admits that they are in a dire situation and require Blade's assistance. Blade then tenuously enters an alliance with the Blood Pack, an elite team of vampires trained in all modes of combat to defeat the Reaper threat. Blade's team and the Blood Pack are the only line of defense which can prevent the Reaper population from wiping out the vampire and human populations. That was 2002. Probably the height of tight leather vampire movies. Oh, I don't remember Chris Christopherson was Whistler. And Ryan Reynolds as Hannibal King. Parker Posey as Danica Talos. Dominic Purcell as Drake. Jessica Biel as Abigail Whistler. Yeah, quite the cast, honestly. Triple H was even in Blade Trinity. Blade finds himself alone, surrounded by enemies, fighting an uphill battle with the vampire nation, now humans. He joins forces with a group of vampire hunters who call themselves the Night Stalkers. They're running out of like names of groups of vampires here. The vampire nation awakens the king of vampires, Dracula, from his slumber, and with intentions of using his primitive blood to become daywalkers. On the other side is Blade and his team manifesting a virus that could wipe out the vampire race once and for all. In the end, the two sides will collide, and only one will come out victorious. A battle between the ultimate vampire, who never knew defeat, facing off against the greatest vampire slayer. Yeah, I can't really say that the Blade movies got better as they went on. I think it's really just the first one. I might even put like 2 and 3 like down here. It's kind of in the meh. Yeah. I might do that. Better than Venom, but like, eh. I don't know how I felt about, might like Dark Phoenix more than Blade 2. The thing is, I like Blade in Midnight Suns, the video game. I think he's incredibly well done in that. Okay. Fantastic Four and Rise of the Silver Surfer. I remember really liking these movies when they came out. So, I want to put Fantastic Four. I don't know. I feel like A tier is getting a little crammed. I would put it top of B tier. And Silver Surfer. Okay, hang on. Let's do a synopsis for both of these. Okay. Fantastic Four, 2005. Iowan Gruffud, Michael Chiklis, Chris Evans, Jessica Alba. Ooh, Kerry Washington as Alicia Masters. Okay. Forgot about that. Alright, 4 astronauts have their lives changed forever when they end up being hit by a cloud of cosmic radiation. Reed Richards now has the ability to stretch his body like elastic. Sue Storm is now an invisible woman. Johnny Storm becomes the Human Torch. And Ben Grimm becomes the Thing. A man made out of rock. But there's one problem. The Journey sponsor, Victor Von Doom, has also been affected. And with full power is a dangerous force that needs to be stopped before it's too late. Yeah, I think the first Fantastic Four was, like, really strong. Now, Rise of the Silver Surfer. A lot of the same cast. Lawrence Fishburne is the voice of the Silver Surfer. Let's get the synopsis on that. Everything seems to be going great for the Fantastic Four. Reed and Sue are finally getting married, and things couldn't seem better. However, when the mysterious Silver Surfer crashes things, they learn that they will have to deal with an old foe and a powerful planet-eating Galactus. Yeah, I don't remember it being quite as good as the first, but it's definitely not as bad as the other. I would put it, like, bottom of I don't know. I'd put it behind Hulk. Incredible Hulk. Okay, Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider with Nicolas freaking Cage, which I'm hearing that he's probably gonna come back in like Secret Wars. When motorcycle rider Johnny Blaze sells his soul to the devil to save his father's life, he is transformed into the Ghost Rider, the devil's own bounty hunter. And is sent to hunt down sinners. And this has Eva Mendes, Sam Elliott, I think, just trying to figure out like where to rank that one. I like the first one more than the second, I think, if I remember correctly. Ghost Rider. Probably right there. Right in C tier. He's definitely not great, but it's not awful, you know? Alright, and Ghost Rider. Spirit of Vengeance. Johnny Blaze, tortured by the Ghost Rider's curse, gets a chance of redemption through protecting the devil's son whose father is pursuing him. You got Nicolas Cage, Ciarán Hinds as Rourke, Idris Elba as Moreau, Violante Placido as Nadia, Johnny Whitworth as Ray Kerrigan. I don't know, I'm trying to remember that. Who all some of these cast members are. Yeah, I don't remember liking part 2 as much as part 1 here. Johnny Blaze, a man who made a deal with the devil, who called himself Mephistopheles at the time, now Rourke, is on the run trying to make sure no one is harmed by his alter ego, the Ghost Rider. He is approached by a monk named Moreau, who tells him that he can help him be free of the Rider. But first, he needs Johnny's help to protect a boy whom Rourke has plans for to help him take human form. Yeah, I might put Ghost Rider 2 just like right after part 1. Bada bing. Right above Silver Surfer. Right there in C with Incredible Hulk. Ooh, it's getting tricky. Wait, why are there wait, huh? Are there 3 Ghost Riders? What's going on here? What's going on here? Did I mess something up? I don't know. I think there's 2 icons for Ghost Rider. I guess whoever was making this wasn't paying attention. Okay, it's getting nitty gritty here. Let's look at Eric Bana's Hulk. This is 2003. I actually love the video game that is based on this. It had stealth sections where you played as Bruce Banner. All right. Eric Bana, Jennifer Connelly as Betty Ross, Sam Elliott as Ross, Josh Lucas as Talbot, Nick Nolte as Father. That's so vague. I actually really liked his Hulk. Bruce is an ordinary gamma expert who one day gets blasted with radiation and somehow survives. But in the process, a monster was born. Now, whenever he gets angry, he grows bigger and stronger until he is no longer Bruce Banner. He becomes the Hulk. Yeah, I gotta put, I don't know how I feel, compare it with the other Hulk, Incredible Hulk. I might just put it right next to it. Something like that. I like Eric Bana. But I also really I really do like Ed Norton. I like Ed Norton as Bruce Banner. I liked him in Red Dragon, you know, alongside Hannibal Lecter. Okay, I think we got 3 left. We got Daredevil, Elektra, and Spider-Man. Daredevil. This is Ben Affleck's Daredevil, okay? Now, this one's something. 2003. Ben Affleck, Jennifer Garner as Elektra, Colin Farrell as Bullseye, Michael Clark Duncan as Wilson Fisk, Jon Favreau as Foggy Nelson, Ellen Pompeo as Karen Page, Joe Pantoliano as Ben Urich, Leland Orser as Wesley Owen Welch. Yeah, and it goes on. It goes on. Storyline. Fate deals young orphan Matt Murdock a strange hand when he is doused with hazardous waste. The accident leaves Matt blind, but also leaves him with a heightened radar sense that allows him to see far better than any man. Years later, Murdock has grown into a man and becomes a respected criminal attorney. But after he's done his day job, Matt takes on the secret identity as the Man Without Fear, Daredevil, the masked Avenger that patrols the neighborhood of Hell's Kitchen in New York City to combat the injustice he cannot tackle in the courtroom. Tagline: A guardian devil. Ben Affleck was virtually blind as he had to wear heavy-duty contact lenses which blocked out most of his vision. That's crazy. Tell me why they couldn't afford contacts for Jennifer to make her eyes green. They just edited them badly in post-production. No. They really did. They really did, didn't they? Oh, you know, I think that's when Marvel's VFX was being, like, really, what was it, like, pressed? Because, I mean, they're striking now. So, I mean, with all these Disney Plus series and movies coming out so rapidly, I think they were just heavily pressed. And who knows what it was like, you know, even further back. That's a bummer. But where do I put Daredevil? Like, I remember it was panned at the time, but I watch it as an adult, and it hits different. And I think me and Kong were talking about this the other day. I think he just randomly asked me. He was like, which Kingpin do you like? Do you like Michael Clark Duncan? And I was like, he really is a good Kingpin. Man, this is a tough one. Where do you put this one? Because I feel like Ben's redeemed himself. He's had a great career. He got to play Batman. He did really well at that. They're saying he might return as Daredevil. I might throw it above Fantastic Four. I don't know. Is it better than some of the X-Men? Maybe it's better than Origins. I don't know. You know what? There's a lot of movies probably better than maybe Origins needs to go like bottom of B tier, something like that. Maybe that'll make more sense. I don't know why that's so up there. Yeah, I want to watch it again, actually. I do. I need to make a watch list of all the movies I need to like that I've seen already, but like it's just been a long time and I want to watch it again. Now, I don't know why they did this. I guess they thought so they did Daredevil in 2003. Then in 2005, 2 years later, Jennifer Garner's character Elektra gets a sequel, a solo film of all things. So instead of doing like a Daredevil 2 or whatever, this is what they do. Jennifer Garner as Elektra, Kirsten Prout as Abby Miller, Tasia Althea as Typhoid Mary, Goran Visnik as Mark Miller, Terrence Stamp as Stick. That was actually good casting. Stick was good. Stick was good. Man, they really just they were putting Jennifer Garner in some skimpy outfits. That's what the early 2000s were all about. Ooh. Synopsis. The ultimate battle between good and evil stands a warrior who makes the choice that tips the balance. A strong, mysterious, and deadly sexy action heroine. A lethal synthesis of grace and power. Not long after recovering from her seemingly mortal wounds, Elektra has severed all ties with the world. Because that's the cool thing to do, is like, sever your ties with the world and then come back later. Kick everybody's ass. Let's see. Living only for her next assignment, but in an unexpected turn of events, she is forced to make a decision that can take her life in a new direction or destroy her. Key players in Elektra's journey are Stick, a blind martial arts master responsible for Elektra's resurrection, and Mark and Abby Miller, a father and daughter on the run from the Hand, a powerful syndicate whose members practice the dark version of the martial art, Kimagure. So, yeah, I feel like Daredevil would have fit naturally, but I don't know. I think it just maybe got too much hate. That they were just like, we don't know what to do. Let's do a spinoff. So I don't remember this one being great, but I also haven't seen it since it came out. So I don't know. I'd put it like I might put it in D tier. Not the wolf tattoo that turns to life. Oh. Yeah, tattoo. That character that they cast, like his tattoos were like coming to life and turned into like real stuff. That was crazy. I wonder if she really did the fight scenes though. I don't know. This looks like a movie that they filmed it entirely like on wires, you know? Like it just looks like one of those like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon where they just like bring them up on the wires. Okay, gamers. We have come to the end of our evening. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I don't know why Across the Spider-Verse is not included here. But Into the Spider-Verse. Into Spider-Verse. Yeah, maybe better than What If, but I really like Iron Man 2. I like Spider-Man 3. I like Amazing Spider-Man. That's where I'd put Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. And these are all repeats here. We've already filled in those movies. So let's recap. All right. Daredevil, Season 1. Tom Jane's Punisher. Daredevil, Season 2 and 3. Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Thor. Spider-Man. Logan. Spider-Man 2. Doctor Strange. Iron Man. The Defenders. The Punisher. Luke Cage. The Punisher TV show, I should say. Luke Cage. Iron Fist. Jessica Jones, Season 1. Luke Cage, Season 2. Jessica Jones, Season 2 and 3. Iron Fist, Season 2. That's S tier. A tier. Guardians of the Galaxy. Avengers. Iron Man 3. Captain America, the First Avenger. Amazing Spider-Man. Captain America Civil War, which should have been an Avengers movie. Should have gotten an extra Cap movie. Avengers Infinity War. Avengers Endgame. Black Panther. Spider-Man 3, Moon Knight. Iron Man 2. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. What If? X-Men. The Wolverine. Days of Future Past. X2, X-Men United. X-Men The Last Stand. X-Men 3, right? X-Men Apocalypse. Daredevil. The Ben Affleck one. Ant-Man. Shang-Chi. And wait, did I put the wrong Fantastic Four? Wait, that's the wrong one. No. Oh, I put the one I haven't seen. Oopsie. Hang on, we had an oopsie. Okay, that Fantastic Four, the bad one, from 2016. I actually want to see that, but I'm gonna put the regular, the first Fantastic Four is top of B tier. Deadpool, X-Men First Class, Avengers Age of Ultron, which should have been a two-parter, I think. Thor the Dark World, WandaVision, Hawkeye, Falcon Winter Soldier, Guardians Volume 2, Black Widow, Captain Marvel, Loki, Deadpool 2, X-Men Origins Wolverine, Incredible Hulk, Eric Bana's Hulk, Ghost Rider, what was the subtitle on this one? Ghost Rider, I can't even read the small print. So these icons are probably the worst. What does that say? Yeah, I still can't read it. Spirit of Revenge. Dude, it's so small and it like blends in with the background too. It's like I don't know how I'm supposed to read that. I got 2020, guys. Okay, Rise of the Silver Surfer, Wakanda Forever, Miss Marvel, Multiverse of Madness, Quantumania, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Homecoming, No Way Home, She-Hulk, Amazing Spider-Man 2, Elektra, Blade, Venom, Dark Phoenix, X-Men, Blade 2, Blade Trinity, Far From Home, Ragnarok, Love and Thunder, and Morbius being the worst Marvel movies ever. I do want to see Agent Carter. I want to see Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Werewolf by Night, I do want to see. Perfect movie for Halloween. I do have to see how bad Fantastic Four is, the 2016 one. Eternals, I fell asleep watching, but I'd like to fully watch it. The Inhumans, I have not seen. I think I saw What Happened on the Way to Thor's Hammer. These are like a bunch of shorts. Ashley was saying All Hail the King is worth a watch. I'll check that out. Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas Special, haven't seen. Peter's To-Do List, I think I saw. I don't know. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I have not seen, but I've heard it's good. I guess those numbers are not in order. That kind of bugs me. Maybe that's how it goes. New Mutants, haven't seen it. Runaways, haven't seen it. Cloak and Dagger, haven't seen it. I'm Groot, Howard the Duck, Man-Thing, Slingshot, Hellstrom, WHIH, all these like news specials or whatever. And yeah, I do have to rewatch Across the Spider-Verse because like it was just too much action and I fell asleep in the last 20 minutes and I felt like it was kind of dragging at that point. Too many cameos, too much action. It was exhausting for my eyes to keep up. It was just constant movement all the time. So I felt like the pacing was not very good. But that's where I stand on that one. And I don't know where I'd put it if I had to rank it. I might just put it right next to the first one. I'd maybe say that Into the Spider-Verse is probably a little better. Which I actually put it pretty high. I put it like right here. The first one. I put it pretty high. Yeah, man. There was something kind of special happening with those early 2000s Marvel movies. I think a lot of them were actually really good. I know people rag on them because they're not considered in the MCU, and people will say, oh, we had all these awful MCU movies until Iron Man came along, and it's like, there were some bangers before then. You guys were just sleeping on them, you know? Or you didn't know what you had. It was either that, one or the other. So... But there we go. That's holy crap. That is we did two. I'm gonna save this and I'm gonna throw it up on Twitter and drop it in the Discord as well. Because we did two whole tier lists tonight. And don't worry guys, I have one for DC as well. But that's gonna have to be another night. I'm gonna save that for another night. I wanted to make sure that we exhausted as much of the Marvel stuff as we can. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. This was a lot of fun. So definitely hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, ring the notification bell, all that great stuff. I really enjoyed this. It was fun talking about all these movies, sort of figuring out like which ones I want to go back and like watch again and look at the ones I haven't seen. I know I need to watch Secret Invasion as well. That's another one that's on my list. But like everything on this one I've seen. I actually really enjoyed this one. This first list was pretty good. A couple of the movie posters were in Spanish, which was strange because most of them were in English, but it's kind of odd to see Guardianes de Galaxia Volume 3. But yeah, here we are, man. Oh, dude, yeah, we gotta go back and rewatch the OG Spider-Man. It's probably been a couple of years since I did a rewatch. And I used to watch like the Dark Knight trilogy. I'd run that back like every year. It's been a while since I've done that. I don't have time to rewatch. I'm always behind. But yeah, I do have a very wonderful little set of DC stuff. I think I have just a massive tier list that we're gonna go through on the DC end of things. Let me just go ahead and okay. Now I'm gonna post that other one on Twitter. Oh man, Scott Pilgrim is dope. Yeah. It doesn't really fall into any of these universes, but nevertheless, we do have to say it's a great movie. One that just absolutely made that transition perfectly. Perfectly. Okay, so I think after like 7 or 8 hours of Starfield and about 3.5 hours of Marvel movie breakdowns and non-stop talking, it's time to bring this wonderful stream to a close. I've got some special announcements though. Let's see. Tuesday, September 19th is my birthday, so I think I might do like some sort of like stream that day. I know Payday 2 should be, or not Payday 2, Payday 3 should be up for early access download. Those of us who bought it on Steam are not able to preload, so you have to wait like literally until the game launches to download it. Yeah, because it doesn't have the preload button yet. So I was thinking I might do Payday 3 all day, unless there might be some other games I want to tap into. I know I've been pretty heavy on the Starfield stuff, but there might just be some fun games I want to play, like maybe some Gears of War Horde mode for a little bit, or just jump into something. Just like play as many fun games that I enjoy that I don't play enough. Just something kind of a one shot for the day, like not really doing like a full playthrough of anything, just sort of like going to some games that I can just jump in, play like Horde mode, or sneak around on Splinter Cell for a little bit, something like that. So I'll keep you guys apprised on what's going on that day, but that's going to be Tuesday. So we'll see what's up. It should be fun. And a new episode of the Shackcast came out today, episode 38, and I'm going to be trying to put out at least 1 or 2 episodes a week. I'm trying to do like one early in the week and one at the tail end, so it kind of feels like you're getting 2 episodes a week. As long as there's plenty of stuff to talk about and interesting episodes where I can provide a lot of commentary. But we got in pretty deep on Embracer Group and Square Enix and a lot of the other big gaming news that's afloat. A lot of stuff happening in the space. So, once again, I'd like to thank you all for watching. Take care, be safe, have a good night, and we'll see what's going on. Stay tuned for all the birthday announcements. Should be a lot of fun. You'll spend a great day playing some games with you guys. Take care. Be safe. Have a good night. Bye.